Piper James, deceiver. Your life to millions, you're why we lose. Piper James, great deceiver. You're living in delusion and you're why we lose. James Lindsay spinning tails, got a fantasy in play, pocketing that cash while he's leading minds astray. Milfs for liberty, he's cashing in the bucks, but his logic's out of whack, man, it's all just muck. Left hates capitalism, he's blind to the facts. Queer theory's misunderstood, it's a different attack. Destabilizing norms, breaking down the walls, but James blocks the truth, man, he's lost in the halls. Piper James, great deceiver. Your lies are weak, we're calling out the truth. Piper James, great deceiver. You steal from us, yet you're still deluded. Echo chamber stick hits a bubble of deceit. While he's pocketing the green, we're exposing the cheat. Leonardo drops the mask with a bang. For liberation means capital limits, that's the goal. Stop blocking the truth, James, open up your eyes. The theory's misunderstood, capitalism's a pride. Destroying the old norms, shaking up the steam. Face up to reality, stop the serial lying. Piper James, great deceiver. Your lies are weak, we're calling out the truth. Piper James, great deceiver. You steal from us, yet you're still deluded. Echo chamber stick, a bullet now. Whiteness, capitalism, it's all intertwined. Queer theory's the lens, but you're way behind. Liberation means capitalism's gone. The lies will cost us the war, that's the price. No property, no house, no business, no money, no parents, no rights, no life for us all. Socialist reality built on your lies. Piper James, great deceiver. Parents follow your advice, kids pay the price. Piper James, great deceiver. You hold up the curtain, cover the left to vision. Piper James, great deceiver. Your life to millions, you're why we lose. Piper James, great deceiver. You're living in delusion and you're why we lose.
That Adolf Hitler made that he records for himself in the first chapters of Mein Kampf, which I have bothered to read more than once. Not in the, I don't speak German, so I didn't read it in German, but I have read it, and he's very clear that he's fighting with the Marxists. He's fighting with the Marxists. He's fighting with the Marxists. He can't stand the Marxists. You argue with them, they lie. The Marxist press prints nothing but lies, and the rest of the media goes along. He yells at them till his voice goes hoarse, drinks his bottle of milk, and comes back and yells at them some more. He's got all these rants about the Marxists. And then he says that one day he finally realized something interesting about them. All the Marxists, all the Social Democrats, which is what the Bolsheviks called their party, was a Social Democrat Party, all of them were Jewish.
What does I don't know. This might be coded, but I'm not sure. What does a Gnostic sex cult have to do with the far left's goal? This guy named Bot is going off about this Gnostic sex cult. What that?
And so we're just not going to answer that question.
Okay, so that's I figured that. So we're just okay. That's why I.
Obsessed with lying to his audience. What crazy things can he get them to believe? He does it irresponsibly to pocket all that money from the mills for liberty. family. Change blocks the truth, smears people who try to show him. Creates an echo chamber for himself to reinforce his fantasy. He used to believe in something, what happened? Mills for liberty. Gnostic sex cult, building his own world. A Gnostic sex cult, unhinged from reality. Totally lost in what can we do? The mock him relentlessly. It's not a Gnostic sex cult, James. No, it's not. Stop lying to your audience. No, it's not. It's not a Gnostic change. Grip Mary Nardini tells us queer liberation means the annihilation of capitalism. Catch up, James. Whiteness means capitalism. Queer theory hates capitalism. Whiteness means capitalism. Queer theory hates capitalism. Whiteness means capitalism. It's all about capitalism. Everyone knows it's capitalism. The socialists know it's capitalism. Wake up, James. It's capitalism. Whoa. The socialists know it's capitalism. Wake up, James. It's capitalism. It's all about capitalism. Everyone knows it's capitalism. The socialists know it's capitalism. Wake up, James. It's capitalism. It's capitalism. To pocket all that money from the mills for liberty. The left hates capitalism, but James won't admit it. He refuses to believe queer theory stabilizes normativity. Gender binary and the nuclear family. But James blocks the truth, smears people who try to show him. Creates an echo chamber for himself to reinforce his fantasy. To believe in something, what happens for liberty? Gnostic sex cult, building his own world. Gnostic sex cult, unhinged from reality. He's totally lost it. What can we do but mock him relentlessly?
We're going to war against James Lindsay. You keep James Lindsay up at night. I got to come and visit you in his head where you live rent-free. I got to come and visit Karlyn. Knock, knock. We're inside James Lindsay's brain. We're inside Chris Rufo and James Lindsay's brain where she has taken up a residence there permanently. And she's performing. She's doing shows there. She got a 10-year contract to do her talk show. No, but thank you very...
Hey, Karlyn. Miss Borysenko, you're picking on my boy James. See this little fishy, this little dolphin gummy? You're picking on my boy James. You're talking about goats. You're talking about Israel. Saying big, meanie head stuff. But you don't understand that when we open it up, and reveal the interior, we see the truth. And the truth is, you're a silly goose. A real silly goose. I'm not going to eat it on camera. Because y'all freaking perverts. You never know what people like you gonna do. Take the film, take the footage I've supplied, twist it around, turn it into something that it's not. Hey, my little toesies. My little toesies. This is what a James Lindsay fan looks like. And yes, I'm a Karlyn Borysenko hater.
He's calling out cults and conspiracies wild, Gnostic sex cults and theories compiled. But one question's raised and it's blocked on the spot. No room for dissent in the world he's got. But the crowd starts to laugh and they're starting to see a whole lot of words that just don't agree. Oh, Emperor James, are you feeling the breeze? Might wanna look down, see what's caught at the knee. He's the Emperor with no clothes, strutting around like nobody knows, shouting loud, thinking he's wise, but he's bearing it all to everyone's eyes. He's the Emperor, yeah, with no disguise, slipped down by his own price. Your fat is an intellectual line. Oprah's got mind control, powers divine. He's calling Saint Michael the devil in charge and telling the Catholics they got it too large. Oh, James, don't you know it's a tricky game when you're calling out folks but you're doing the same. You say it's the truth only you understand, but the crowd's got a mirror showing just where you stand. He's the Emperor with no clothes, strutting around like nobody knows, shouting loud, thinking he's wise, but he's bearing it all to everyone's eyes. He's the Emperor, yeah, with no disguise, stripped down by his own pride. Start to fade and the truth comes around. His theories unravel like threads on the ground. The court starts to giggle, the people all cheer, for the Emperor's naked, the truth's finally here. He's the Emperor with no clothes, strutting around like nobody knows, shouting loud, thinking he's wise, but he's bearing it all to everyone's eyes. He's the Emperor, yeah, with no disguise, slipped down by his own pride. So here's to the lesson, let's give it a toast to emperors walking in nothing but boast. Join Karlyn's cult and open your eyes. She's here to expose James's epic lies.
What's up, guys? Welcome to a very, very early showing of the cult, but we're early for good reason because I am going to be joined by my very good Viking lookalike friend Adam Green today, and we are going to be watching a very special edition live episode of Adam King. We have two Adams involved today, and it's very confusing, and one of them needs to change their name. And we're going to be watching James Lindsay talk about his trip to Israel. And I see Adam Green is here, so we're going to bring him on. What's up, Adam? Thanks for joining me today.
What's up? How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, not too bad. Now, this is technically your fault because you're the one that suggested this, and I was like, yeah, we really need to actually watch this. This is going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, I figured we're both going to be watching it anyway, so might as well just make content out of it. I saw it on my show. They were saying that he was going to be on with Adam, and obviously I heard James Lindsay, you know who I thought of first.
Well, it's funny because Adam King apparently thought of me first as well, because he like DM'd me all excited. He's like, Karlyn, I have to tell you, like, I'm having James on my show. I was like, oh, really? So that's going to be interesting. So do you do this stuff often where like you watch people that maybe you aren't the biggest fan of live and talk about what they're saying?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big debate watcher. If there's debates, I'll do a stream and watch it live. Stuff that I know that like I really want to watch, and or just like, you know, State of the Unions or Trump speeches or all types of stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Well, James really loves it when we watch him live, and we haven't done this in several months, but the last time we watched James live and asked him actually very simple questions in the chat, he had an entire meltdown, and he talked about how he reported me to the cops for watching him live on YouTube, and then then the cops told him that because YouTube didn't ban my channel over it, that I was obviously a Fed.
That's hilarious.
Well,
yeah,
is there anything
I don't
that
know much about James Lindsay, honestly. I don't know much about your guys's, whatever your guys's beef is. I haven't seen him much. Only a few like clips of him saying really cringe stuff is all I've really ever watched from him. But he appears to be the top like Shabbos Goy, fake Christian, I guess, shill for Israel with this latest trip especially. So I'm interested now. Now that Adam's on a roll too. He had Josh Hammer on, who's central to the whole Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk scandal controversy, and then he had on Dinesh D'Souza, who has the new documentary, biblical prophecy documentary out with Rabbi Jonathan Cahn and Netanyahu and a bunch of others. So now he's getting the top goy, top Shabbos goy today.
Oh man, Adam King is like interviewing everyone. I don't even know how he gets in touch with all these people, but he's obviously got the Israel connection, so that works for him. But no, James has been like, it's actually kind of funny to go back and look at some of James's earlier stuff now, because one of the things we found out when we were researching him is that the guy that funds his website, guess where the guy who funds James's website gets his money from?
No, why would he need somebody to fund his website? Like, he can't have like he has to pay other people to do it or something?
Yeah, apparently so. He's got a whole team of people working for him and creating all his content and all that stuff. Okay. And he can't get enough members to sustain his website on his own, so he has to have some guy who's getting Israel money fund it for him.
Oh, it's Israel money?
Yeah, it's Israel money. It's 100% Israel money.
like a Jewish person in America, or like literal, like from the state of Israel?
It's so James's business partner is a guy named Michael O'Fallon, and Michael O'Fallon is a Christian Zionist, like typical like dispensationalist. And so he does a lot of business with the government of Israel, and so we found all these posts that he was making about talking about going to Israel and, you know, talking to the government in Israel and all this stuff.
Okay, so he's working with, being funded by a Christian Zionist that's very pro-Israel.
Yes.
Checks out, makes sense. So is he a Christian? Has he traditionally ever been a Christian?
No, this is actually the funny part about James. James is an atheist who early in his career wrote like several books completely denouncing Christianity. And so but because James works with so many Christian organizations, he's kind of flirted with the idea of like, maybe I should pretend to be a Christian to make more money from these organizations.
Yep. And that's finally come to fruition.
Yep. Hey, we got a super chat just for you. Can the glorious Mr. Green turn his mic up a little bit? That's probably...
I turned it up quite a bit. Is that...
You turned it up? Maybe I should turn my mic down.
Test.
It definitely sounds better to me.
My gain's up way higher than I ever do it. But
you
it doesn't
sound
seem
good
like it's
to me.
going red. Okay.
Yeah. Does it sound good, everyone? Do I need to turn my mic down?
Is it good? Down. Is it good? Good now.
Gotta get the sound good. So is Adam King streaming? I would prefer to stream this on YouTube, but okay, he is. Okay, he's live on YouTube. Hang on. So Madam King is live, so we're gonna get the YouTube feed up and running. Let's see. And we're just gonna react live. And guys, I want to emphasize, okay, if you go over to the chat, which I'm not saying you should or shouldn't do, obviously, I would never do that. If you go over to the chat, please behave yourself. Please, that's not the screen I wanted. That's the one I wanted. Please behave yourself. No shit posting, no name calling. If you're asking James questions, ask him good questions that are thoughtful and highbrow and all this stuff. I don't want this blowing back on me. Okay, we have rules here, and we don't do all that shit. So be good if you're gonna go over to that chat, because I like Adam King and I don't want to piss him off, and I want him to ask my questions. Okay, those are the
into this everything into this broadcast, folks. Week after week. Show after show.
Show after show.
Situation.
He's got merch now. He's got awesome Jew merch.
God, do we have a show for you today? So, you know, I don't know if you saw this, but I'm going to play these videos when our guest comes. We're going to get some original reaction from James Lindsay.
Fuentes clips?
The creator of New Discourses.
God. Hey, can we do super chats on here? We only do super chats on Rumble.
Let him know we are live.
Yeah, get him on, Adam. What the hell?
Share the link. Why is this important? Because
he took the trip.
We just got 60,000 followers. Boom! Now, only if we could get the Adam King Show account to like have any traction. So if you are watching this, go to the Adam King Show. Follow that account too, because for the life of me, that one doesn't seem to move. But we have like the most amazing situation brewing over here on how we're breaking the censors.
Oh, yeah?
Censors, just like I came out with Awesome Jew.
Come on, dude. James Lindsay is not censored.
We have other accounts too.
People just don't like him.
There's 4 people watching on YouTube.
There's no one watching. There's only 4 people watching on Rumble, too.
Yeah.
I give all.
This is great.
Okay, James Lindsay. We are live.
We need to ask James, what do you think about Adam's red heifer and wanting to rebuild the third temple?
Okay.
We definitely need to ask him that. That's a good idea.
And we have our guest, folks, early, so I'm just going to bring him in. Since we didn't get too far in the soliloquy, we'll save that for after the show. We got the one and only James Lindsay, folks.
Hi, James.
Hang on, let me find that.
Hi, James.
Let's sound check this brother out.
He's got the...
Why can't I hear?
All right.
Wait a minute.
Ooh.
Boom.
All right, try. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
All right, James Lindsay in the house.
That's right. Hey, how you doing?
What's up, man? Conceptual James. Where has my podcast gone? Now I'm sitting in front of Conceptual James over here.
That's right.
Dude, we
It's a
got
race
so
to the
much to
bottom.
talk about. I saw your last episode on Israel High. It's like par for the course in greatness. So much is going down. You just got back from Israel. I wanted to do like a picture slideshow of your trip to Israel, you know, like just enjoy it with you. But like literally in the last 4 days, the world's changed 8 times. So there's so many topics. I can't just focus on your trip. What do you want to talk about first? Your trip or what's going on in the world? Because I want to give at least equal time to both of them.
First thing they're going to go to
Let's start with the
Tucker
trip.
and
The
Fuentes.
trip's really inspiring.
Yep.
So maybe it'll give us like
I agree.
positive energy to talk about the rest.
First of all, you inspired me to change the name of the episode. It was going to be James Lindsay's $7,000 a day trip to Israel. But now I
James didn't like that.
changed it to Am Yisrael Chai
No,
because of your episode. It was just like, it was like, boom. You know, and I was thinking to myself, you know, Am Yisrael Chai is not just like, we always say it to each other as Jews, like as we're walking down the halls of Judaism. What's up, brother? Am Yisrael Chai, you know, but it's for everybody. It's for anybody who stands with us. So Am Yisrael Chai to you, brother. And I stand in solidarity with you when I say Am Yisrael Chai. How did the trip start?
I get it. Well, with an airplane ride.
Obviously, the tweet was, turns out you could just do things.
Well, yeah, with the big, El Al playing with the Star of David on the tail, like let's make it all the way, right? So, flew over in proper Jewish style, nice kosher meals on the plane.
Nice.
Land in Tel Aviv, obviously. Jump in a car, went over to Jerusalem, to the hotel, got checked in, basically had enough time to splash a little water on her face, change her clothes, and went to dinner with kind of the group that invited us, which is the group. It's Heirut. It's like a think tank political.
Do you know anything about
had
that?
us over. It's not your typical kind of influencer tour. We weren't like just going to see the sights and get the rah cute kind of trip. It was like, let's get some in-depth look at like what's the history of this place, both in terms of modern 1948 to now, but also, ancient. How does that bear on what it means to be here, to live in Israel, to be Jewish in the world or in Israel? And then, what's the legal situation here? Like, how screwed up is Israeli politics? Turns out to be real screwed up.
Yeah.
And like, it's very complicated.
Yeah,
a lot of Americans just like have no idea that, frankly, like they don't think about other countries' politics at all. And so they have no idea that there's like all these different, factions and parties, and people are fighting over different things. They have very different conceptions of how things are and should be. They don't understand basically this huge fight over judicial reform that's like at the center of like so much that's happening in Israel right now, where the Supreme Court has basically kind of upended the idea of balance of powers. And is that good? Is that bad? The whole thing. And so what's that, Ehud Barak's whole thing or whatever. So this is like a complicated, we had that aspect as well.
That's
then we
an
went
entirely other bag of chips, the Ehud Barak Netanyahu war,
that's right.
It's like crazy what's going on.
And so then we went and saw all like the heavy stuff, right? We saw Yad Vashem, which is
they
of
get
course
it
the
out
Holocaust.
of the way right in the beginning.
Yep. And then we went to Mount Herzl to see the new October 7th memorial.
I love what you said about the trees, though. I mean, we're blowing through your trip really quick. I want to.
They went on the victimhood tour.
There's so much in
Yeah.
overlap. Like it was a 9-day
the martyrdom
like,
tour.
We're still on like a few hours.
He was in Israel for
day
9
one.
days.
So, like, I want to back up and I want to tell the
Wow.
viewer audience something. And maybe you don't even know this. Did you know that El Al is one of the only flights that has a missile defense system attached to it?
I knew that. That's part of like
that.
they
never heard that
sold the
before.
airline to me.
That's kind of creepy, honestly, that
well,
he
it has
knows
flares
that.
and stuff on there.
Yeah.
I've actually seen one of the pictures where like it's a 787, and if you know what to look for, you can see like some of the missile defense stuff on the bottom of the 787.
Yeah.
So yeah, and why? Oh yeah, because people trying to shoot down Jewish planes. That's why all the time.
Anti-Semitism.
It's like a serious issue. So this is actually
nobody tries to shoot down anybody else's
You
plane,
learn.
just Jews.
Yeah.
Just
Why don't
Jews.
everybody
I don't
have
leave the
those?
country. If I don't leave the country.
Why don't American planes have those?
Smart move. But I
It's
got to just
pain.
say, El Al business class is like a social club. Did you meet anybody on the plane? Did anybody?
No,
in
the
business
Oh, they
Jew.
flew him
have dinner
business
with
class.
anybody in El Al
No,
business?
no.
That must
I'm
have been
As it
telling
nice.
turns
you,
out,
it's
no.
like it's worth it to fly business just
Mile
for the
High
invitation
Jewish
to the
Club.
party. Sometimes
Oh,
it
that's
can be
funny.
the greatest
No.
thing you've ever seen.
No, I didn't.
And then
I'll have to
before we
walk
get
out
to
next time.
your thing, the group that took you out, they're called Hey.
Wearing coach with the goy.
I want to just say for the
HERUT.
audience that doesn't know Hebrew, that means freedom. So
wow.
obviously that's why they would go for a guy like James Lindsay.
That's right.
Some might
and
say
so,
liberation.
Yeah, we're good friends now. It's a great organization. They're doing good things. They basically are running this whole program to like train up a generation of leaders focused on freedom, economic freedom, socio-political freedom, individual freedom.
You mean Israeli
in Israel, which is
propagandists?
actually kind of a foreign concept for a lot of
Right.
Israelis on the ground. That they've had a different concept. The state was founded in socialism. It's been fighting its kind of way out of that in some sense since, and that's just part of the reality. So this is like frontline freedom movement kind of stuff happening in Israel, which is like real and really important, especially as freaking productive as that place is. It would be really great to have more economic liberty and more individual liberty.
Liberty of speech.
You say we?
Yeah.
Free speech laws.
Said
there's
he's
also,
referring to Israel as
like
we.
you were mentioning earlier about the system of checks and balances and how the Supreme Court kind of like rules Israel with like an iron fist. At this point, they have like complete control. The
Yeah, that's
final
right.
say so. It's a very unique type of governance that's kind of unlike any other governance in the world. So, so Hayroot brought you out.
Yeah.
You did Yad Vashem. I paused
Hayroot.
you there. The reason I paused you is because I wanted to ask you about the trees. You mentioned this in your podcast.
Oh,
This,
yeah.
like,
Okay.
deeply
So
affected you.
So the first thing we did was at dinner. We meet everybody, and the podcast. What I said was, so it's the very first night we get there. We have this dinner, and what it's like, hey, everybody introduce yourself. So it's like some Americans first. We were kind of interspersed around the table, but we just hey, I'm James. I do this. Blah blah blah. All right, next guy, and it's like everybody around the table is like, hi, I'm married. I've been married for a long time or whatever, how many years. I have 5 kids. I have 7 kids. I have 3 kids, whatever it is. It's like their children and everything came first. So that was big before all their like professional accolades. Oh, I'm a, renowned philosopher after they talk about their kids. And so there's this completely different priority. First of all,
I just super chatted
I see it.
on. Yeah,
then,
for
you
people
shouldn't
who-
have done. You shouldn't have blown your
and,
cover so
Western
early.
Wall the
No,
next
he knows
morning,
though.
but
He
then the next
knows.
Okay.
morning
I
we go to Yad
promise.
Vashem.
He
saw the tweet.
knows.
So we're good.
Does
and
James
like
want
sunset,
Moshiach now?
and,
I tweeted too. Do you see that?
Yeah,
Or I
no,
posted.
that's a good one.
Before we can do anything because we're in Israel, so we go downstairs
You
into
gotta
the
start
cafe.
with the Nescafe.
Yeah, you have to. And so then we went up and we got the stuff. We got our tour guide,
The
and she
stuff.
takes us out into the grounds, the outdoor grounds of the memorial.
Is anybody commenting on
and,
YouTube?
Not
all these
well.
trees.
Yeah, my
I
audience
mean, like,
is
it's like a
commenting on
forest.
YouTube.
And
Maybe we
Dude,
should
all
watch
James
the
is
trees
such
are
a big
black.
e
He starts
celeb on
explaining
the
that,
right. He's like top leading the charge
everybody
against
who's
the
been
woke
named
right,
righteous
and there's
among the
he can't
nations.
even
There's
bring
like
in an audience of more than
27,000
10 people when he
or
goes
so
on a
that were named
podcast.
that.
There's
Almost all
no
of
one
whom were
here.
during the Holocaust,
This is typical James, I think.
for saving Jewish lives.
He got
basically.
no
They referred to
James
it
bump
themselves
for having a big guy
as
like
a
James
tree
on.
planted
Aw,
on the
man.
grounds
Poor
of
Adam
the
King.
memorial of Yad Vashem. She said
He's
it's something
trying
like
so
40
hard.
acres. It's
What
a
kind of
big,
person is a big fan of
installation and
James? He
museum
seems
kind of
really
in the middle.
boring. Is he always this
And-
boring?
Is huge
No,
for
he well
Israel
he
for
I think he
context.
has always been
like,
this boring, but it's just
I'm
like now
actually
he's like
looking
extra
at
boring
land
because all he
right
ever
now, I
talks
wanna
about is
buy
Israel
land.
and Jews.
And in the United
It
States,
feels it's so
my
like
minimum is,
emasculating.
around,
It's just
like,
like I went over to
I'd
Israel.
go
Let me
if it
just
was
tell you how
100,
great it
but,
is.
I
Like,
wanted
all right, bro.
640 acres,
All right,
just a
chill.
square mile, 'cause we have so
Yeah, I'm gonna
much
switch over to Rumble because I can send super chats on Rumble.
like the
So let's
biggest
watch over
property you could
here.
probably ever get your hands on. Just to give
Yeah.
context, it's like a campus. Where
This is
like
the
an
best
American
Israel could
campus
do.
might be
Yeah.
He's just
2,000
like
acres,
vowing. They didn't even hire him.
but
He's
an
just like went
Israeli
over there to
campus
try to
is like 40 acres is like
grovel to the
It's huge. And so they've got these
tribe.
27 some odd thousand trees intentionally planted there on the property. Some of them are quite old and big. Some of them are not as old and big.
tree
Some of them are fairly small.
They're planting
And they all have
trees.
plaques,
Okay.
and they all tell the name and a tiny little
How many
piece of the
Palestinian
story
vineyards
of
are
the
you chopping
person
down? And
who
olive trees
risked
are you
a
stealing?
lot in order to help save Jewish lives. And the
Jewish
symbolism
lives
that they
matter.
explained with the tree. So we're staring at this one tree, and she's telling the story of this lady who did all this crazy heroic stuff. I can't remember what it all was. And it's like, oh yeah, and that tree right there is Oscar Schindler's tree. Everybody wants to go see that one. You can go look at it if you want, but I think this story is like a little crazier. And so, and it's like they got a path up to Oscar Schindler's tree. It's like a big deal. And so anyway, she's telling us a story. I don't remember what the story is, so I don't want to mess it up and try to make something up here, but they're all stories of incredible heroism. And she's like, some of them are more wild and crazy.
Hey guys, I'm
than
gonna
this.
put the Rumble
Some
link
of
in
them
the
are
chat
less,
if you
but
guys
they're
want to go
all
over
like
there.
crazy inspiring. And she says the reason that we plant trees is, first of all, they symbolize life. And then second of all, you have this idea that by this person's sacrifice that they made, the tree symbolizes, it comes up from the root. That's the sacrifice.
Did you go look at any?
The
Did you go
trunk,
talk
and
to
then
the
it has all these
Palestinians about
branches.
their
And so
olive?
that's like for every Jewish
orchards
life saved, the branches are like
That's a
getting
good question.
destroyed?
Someone-
and so like
someone
the,
should ask
it says
that.
the revenge, the idea, what's the Jewish idea of revenge for the Holocaust? Is it let's go glass Germany or something? No, it's let's
Yeah,
have a
it
lot
was
of
actually.
babies
right.
because you couldn't wipe us out. So now we're going to make lots more
Exactly.
babies. And it's like this unbelievable celebration of life. It's not this, how do
Yeah.
we go destroy our enemies? How do we like undermine or take over the world? How do we use our space laser to eradicate Berlin? That's like not on the menu. What's on the menu is we're going to make lots of babies, and
How
they
do we
symbolize
thrive? And not just make
Yeah.
babies. How do we thrive?
thrive. That's right. And so the idea of these trees that are like growing and spreading, and obviously more branches, and I don't know if any of them are fruit bearing or not. Some of them are pine trees, so they have pine cones.
Oh
I
my
guess.
God! What
But
are
the
we doing?
idea that trees bear fruit is
Hey, let's
kind
talk
of,
about tree. 15
think
minutes in, let's
positive
get
things are
right to
being
the
brought into
trees.
world is sort of
I wanted to talk about
the
Nazis.
underlying message. So we
Let me
spent
tell you. Let me tell you about all the trees I
unfortunately,
saw over
a little
in
bit too much
Israel.
time. We didn't spend a whole lot of time wandering around and looking at trees, but we spent a little bit of time, which the reason I say it's
Talk
unfortunate
about
is because it was
Nazis.
sunset and the place closes. And like they
Talk
were,
about
legit
They didn't
Nazis,
give
blocking
you
yeah,
the
the
that's
VIP
funny.
pass, man. They didn't let you
This
stay
is
open.
boring.
Yad Vashem, what's up, man?
Can you expand on the neo-pagan right?
Yeah, right. Don't they know who I am?
Where's Amalek?
And so, no, the people in Tel Aviv know who I am. The people in Jerusalem, only a little bit less. I
Can you
did. I
expand
got
on
recognized
that?
on the street a few times in Jerusalem by
That's
just
great.
random people. Like when we went to the wall, we went to the Western Wall and we're leaving. And, it's Israel.
Look
So
for my
there's
comment
somebody's
right here.
doing something like a party.
Politically
There's
provoked
like a
is there,
wedding or
huh?
something.
Can you
Oh,
expand
no!
on the
There's a
neo-pagan
band
woke
outside
right?
playing music. I
They're
think it was the wedding.
complaining at
People were
me
really
'cause
dressed up.
Brittany's pissed
And
I
it was
blocked
like,
her.
pretty orthodox because you had like the black suits and the hats. And so we
Brittany,
walked
you're
through
just
this
jealous
and
I'm
like
streaming with Adam
people
Green
just
and you're
start
not.
recognizing me in this
That's
like
amazing.
crowd.
That makes
And I'm
me
like,
proud.
what?
That makes me
Yeah.
Can you
proud. that,
expand
like,
on the
people are watching
neo-pagan
me.
woke
I gotta
right?
say
But
that.
That's what
dude,
I
in
wanna
Tel
hear.
Aviv, I got recognized on the street, like no joke, like 20 times. It was
Oh my
it
God,
was
he's a
how many times
celebrity
I
in
got
Tel
recognized in
Aviv.
Tel
What a
Aviv.
patriot!
Does Tel
Uh,
Aviv
but-
not want to be America?
Israel
I mean, for
famous.
everybody who larps on America, or for everybody who larps on Israel constantly about like, this used to be a Palestinian land. Like these people like really strive to follow our way of life here in America in every
Yeah,
way,
no
shape,
joke.
or form. Even the leftists in Israel want to be leftists the way that America is. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Like they're all emulating a different aspect of American culture.
There's a surprising number of American flags flying around too. Like there's a
Israel is
lot of
literally
Israeli
America.
flags. And as somebody's
They
traveled
just
a
And
lot,
you
worship
saw the
us.
Trump flags and
Mhm.
effigies everywhere.
oh
on
God,
this.
Trump! Holy crap! They got like pictures of his face stuck all over the place. They love Trump.
They love Trump.
Somebody told me when I was there, and I don't know the stats on this, but they said that there was a poll. So I'll assume that there really was a poll, but I don't know if there was
James
a poll.
humped the wall.
I have
Yeah,
no reason to believe
probably
this guy
true.
made this up. But that if Israel had actually been a state, like the 51st state or whatever, in the 2024 election,
No.
it would have voted for Trump more than any other state by 10 points.
It's like
their support for Trump-
99.98%. It's
It's
like really up there.
legitimately insane how
Yeah.
much Trump is loved over there.
Especially now
And-
that the hostages were released, like the leftiest lunatics, like you have to be paid for by the WEF or something like that to not like Trump in Israel.
It's true. It's crazy true. And
Nazis at the World
you know,
Economic
American
Forum
flags
pay you to
everywhere,
not like
lots
Trump.
of like combined Israel, like a two flag sticking up out of a thing, Israel and America. But there's Israeli flags everywhere. And as somebody like I started to say, I've traveled a lot, right? I went to Japan.
James
I
is
saw
an Israel
one
flipper, true.
Japanese. I went to their parliament.
Wow.
I spoke in their parliament. I saw one Japanese flag the entire time I was in Japan. You know where I saw it? With one of the guys who came with us, who wasn't even Japanese, who had it, who brought a Japanese flag. Like the patriotism in that country is awesome and inspiring. And it's like you go to some other, like South Korea is pretty patriotic and cool, but like there's tons of like U.S. South Korea flags, but it's not.
Maybe they're just
same.
not accustomed
Like
to have.
Israel's like crazy.
I
like
love
US.
It's not feng shui to have
So good.
flags
Like,
all
the
over the
way
place.
it's
How
cool.
about that,
colors
dude? They
match,
still
like,
love their
especially when
country
it's
and
on,
their
like, a
their
really
culture.
high flagpole. It's like those blue.
You don't
like,
love your
flames
country if you
into
don't got a
the
flag.
blue
You
of
don't
the
fly the
sky
flag.
Oh, yeah.
and blends
Like, come
into
on,
the
what is this?
clouds, and then it's like the Star of David in the middle of it, and you're like, oh.
Oh
it's
my
like
God,
that
Adam
everywhere,
King is
man.
so
I
fucking
think the
Jewish.
Israeli flag.
Jews are like ultra
Best
nationalist,
flags on the planet, I gotta
supremacist,
say.
Yeah,
I
chosen
love a lot
people.
of
how
It's
you
so
flags.
characterize
based.
it, right?
Yeah.
You're not like my country is everywhere, or that the Jews are controlling everything everywhere. It's God is everywhere, is what you see
Right.
when you see that. It's like, what is wrong with these American conservatives?
And
that
the
don't
God of
hear
the
this,
Jews, Lindsay? You mean the
clear-
Jewish God?
like faith
Forgetting that
centered,
part.
family centered, patriotism centered, defense centered mentality. But yeah, so Yad Vashem, what unbelievable.
Yad
You go
Vashem.
through, you see all the Nazi stuff, you see how horrible things are. It was shockingly less horrible than I thought it would be. It's heavy, but it was like less.
Not as bad as I
horrible.
thought.
You could
That's
really
a great
make
quote. Quote that.
memorial,
Quote
like,
that. Clip that.
gut-wrenching. It's hard to walk.
Holocaust not
But
as
this
bad
is,
as
like,
he thought. Quote
super
that.
more educational and straightforward, but it's also extremely like moving and touching,
That's
right?
They're not
funny.
So you have that
trying to-
Yad
they're
Vashem, not as
trying
bad
to
as I
get you to,
thought.
like break you. They're trying to get you to understand.
He really just
That's
did
right. That's right. They're telling the story, but then at the
I'm
end you
just
got
not
that
happy
room,
about it.
right, where it's like circle, and there's like,
what do you mean not as
all
bad?
those
It's the worst
portraits
thing
of, like,
ever.
all the different people, and it's like, you know, this deep well down into the ground where it's supposed to
That is
represent
funny.
what's been carved out and lost
Yeah.
out of the mountain, and it's like super pretty symbolic. And of course, like the big punchline of my podcast is then finally, and it got dark while we were in there. We walk out the back end, and I'm so glad it got dark, actually, because it's like it would have been good in the daylight. I've went and looked at pictures, but there was just something, because you can see the lights, you know, the city lights and the headlights and the tail lights on cars. So we walked out, and at the end of the museum, there's this patio, and it's just looking at a part of, like, just part of the city. It's not like something special. It's just Jerusalem, just part of everyday Jerusalem, right? There might be something special, but I don't know what it was. And it doesn't look like there's like a monument or anything. It's not like, you know, you're looking at the Washington Monument or something. You go out and you just see everyday life. And so the tour guide, the woman, was like, what do you see? And the answer, of course, is that you see everyday life. But that's the first time it hit me. And it's like, oh, I see Am Israel Chai. Like, holy crap, the Jewish people live. Like, we just walked through the Holocaust and we see all this. And then you step forward out onto this balcony, and then you're like, oh, yeah, it's Tuesday. You know, we've got stuff to
important. And like this is like one of those things where like boredom is actually like really important. It's like a settling of existence. You're here now. You know what I mean? Yep. And like the Holocaust is such, I mean, I'm Ashkenazi. So my family's been in America for 7 generations. We're a very old Ashkenazi family. So we're not like connected by blood through the Holocaust, but when you grow up in the Jewish community, you are. Everybody. I mean, I must have known at least 1,000 Holocaust survivors personally in my life. So like the legacy of the Holocaust is like the ancestral trauma is generational. You know, I gotta say, like, you know, so much. I can't tell you how many relationships I've been in with Ashkenazi Jewish women who the traumas, the family traumas, were the reasons why the relationship never worked out. You know, there is like this.
The Holocaust has destroyed Adam
ancestral
King's
trauma.
dating life.
And so that's why I love that part of the Yad Vashem, because you come out and, like you said, it's Tuesday. Like this,
it's literally the scapegoat
like,
for everything.
Go through such devastation.
It's ruined everything.
It just doesn't affect those who were in that, you know, tiny 7-year window.
Dude.
But it affects
these guys are on a roll.
Multiple generations. That Tuesday becomes so sacred. That boringness, that random.
That's right.
Get to work. Like getting to work on time should be the biggest problem anybody should have to face.
Yeah, and it's like getting to work is like a miracle when you see what it is. So it's like it really hits you. And what's
So
really
artistic.
interesting is, of course, we had this framing. You know, we understood that, like I said, there's a lot of debates in the Israeli context. A lot of people here in America don't understand, and so there is this debate within, you know, Israel and within Jews more broadly that they really impressed upon us, which is, are we the people of the Holocaust, or are we Am Israel Chai? Are we the people who live? And you know, I saw very little. I mean, I know there are people who want to be identified as victims, who want to, like, you know, evoke that trauma as a reason to be able to get away with whatever, or to just
putting Adam on blast.
But the idea actually is that it's like, no, we're people who just, you know, it doesn't matter what gets visited upon us, we overcome and keep going. And so that like pride and determination and grit that kind of shines through with that mentality about, well, how do we think of ourselves?
It sharpened their
iron.
iron.
The people who keep living.
It makes them fight and unify.
To, the people who always get attacked. You know, it's like the little wimpy dog meme versus the big buff dog meme. And it's really, really inspiring. And that's where I started to say, when you asked me about the missile
James
defense
thinks the
on the
Jews
plane,
are a
right?
big buff dog.
It's like
underdog stories are very.
You don't get it. Because you can
Great
really,
comparison.
actually kind of see what's going
Jews
on.
are just
but
like
it's like
such a buff dog.
everyday life is your plane might get shot down. Like that's not everyday life in America. I mean, it might be like some DEI plane crash.
Have
or
any
something,
planes
but it's
been
not
shot
your
down
plane's
in
gonna get
Israel? Or they're
shot
just
down
saying
by
any
people
day
with
it could
hostile
happen.
intent
Could
who want
happen.
to take you out for absolutely no good
Just in
reason
case.
except the terror that it causes. And
only for being
to
Jewish.
relate
That's
it
the
into
only
more,
reason people are upset.
Actual terms, that you go to a music festival and 1,400 people don't make it.
yeah, went there. In fact, I went there with Brigadier General, the Reserve Brigadier General, Orrin Solomon is the one who actually took us and like he's like kind of the hero
literally
of the Nova
IDF
Festival as far as it goes, and he's telling us his whole story. I know you know who Billboard Chris is, and you know his like Twitter account. He put that he videoed that entire storytelling that General Solomon did. He taped the whole thing with the translator. I mean, Solomon talked in Hebrew, but he had a translator and told the whole story, and he put it up on Twitter. So anybody can go watch exactly what his heroism is. And it's so crazy. Like, again, here you got this incredible hero. He saves hundreds of lives that day. I mean, obviously tons of people didn't make it, but he still saves hundreds of lives. You can think of those like those trees in a sense. And he's so humble, right? So the deal was, you know, it's October.
The survivors
7th.
are
He
trees.
wakes up, he has a phone call like, we need you at command now. Basically, we're getting attacked. We don't know what's going on, early in the morning. And so he's like, let's get dressed. He puts on his uniform, his IDF uniform, grabs his son, who's not IDF. They strap pistols, get in the car, and go to drive to HQ. And on the way,
James
he
always
comes
talks like
across
he's a
like all
spy.
these cars outside the Nova Festival site, and he's like, because he lives down in one of those kibbutzes, and he's like,
The kibbutz.
this
One
ain't
of those
right.
communist
And he sees like the
kibbutzes,
Hamas
James?
Jeeps or whatever, so he stops.
Oh yeah,
and
he's
like,
anti-communist.
telling
Well, he
the
did mention
festival's
like they're
over.
coming
You
out
gotta
of
remember,
communism.
this is
They're
like
they're fighting a
Shabbat
fight
morning,
against communism.
really early in the morning.
That's his.
They're
take.
all drunk and stuff from the night before, partying, which they probably shouldn't have been doing. But it's a music festival, and young people are young people.
Probably
It turns out
shouldn't be
Israelis know how to
partying.
have fun too.
No one should
believe
have
it or
fun
not.
ever.
And so they were all having a good time. And he's
Party
like,
doesn't stop.
basically like grabbing him by like the shirt, shaking him like, you've got to run away now. Like, this isn't missiles and the Iron Dome. Like, you've got to run. And they're like, run where? And he's like, east. And he just points into the field. And so like a bunch of them won't do it, but a bunch of them do. And like, I think the story is everybody who ran away and followed it. I don't know where they ended up going, but everyone who ran lived. And so he saves all those people. And then he's like, finally it gets in a point where like Hamas is now here, and he's like, you know, trying to do something. They're killing people. He's trying to get people to safety as he can, the best that he can. And he realizes like he's stuck in some situation. I forget what the deal is, but he's like, go watch Chris's recording and you'll get the actual details right. And he's like gonna die, and he knows he's gonna die. So he prays some prayer that's like, I don't know which one, but it's like one of this. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So he prays the Shema, and then he says at the end of it, God, just let me save these people, or help me save these people.
It's just
something
like
to that
all
effect.
emotional.
And all of a sudden, like a
sob
tank
stories.
rolls up,
Like go
an
go
IDF
interview
tank
some
rolls
little
up
kid in
after,
Palestine
like,
and ask them
literally
how
seconds
their
after he
last few
prays,
years has
starts,
been.
like running over Hamas.
Go ask somebody that's lived in
And
Gaza
turns out
for
the tank isn't shooting, and he doesn't know why.
70
it turns out
years.
that they'd already grenaded
Those
the
kids
tank
aren't
and
paying
killed everybody
James's
inside except the
salary,
driver,
though,
because
so
the driver
he's
has
less
like
interested
special
in that.
protection
Yeah.
for.
They're not
attack.
God's chosen
And so
people.
it's just
so.
a driver, so he doesn't have access to work the guns.
It's
So
like
he's
such
just
a
like running them
liberal
over
like
with the
thing.
tank.
It's like my
And
feelings
eventually,
are
I
all
guess
that
he's
matter in
wounded.
this.
He
Well,
eventually
no, there's
pulls the
actually
tank
more
over to
than
the
that,
far side
bro.
of the festival site and dies.
Like
in the
2
tank.
words,
So
Hannibal
now the tank is
directive.
just stopped.
Actually,
And so Solomon realizes he's got to go there, and so he gets over to the tank. He starts getting
save that
people to
one.
hide behind the tank as like, you know, a piece of heavy.
If someone
armored
wants to ask
vehicle
James
hide
about the
behind to be
Hannibal
safe.
directive in the Rumble
And he,
chat,
like,
I think that'd be a good idea.
I forgot part of the story. He actually had
I just
this
don't
where
want
he's
it to come
stuck
from me.
twice, and he does the same prayer, and please let me save more of these people, and then something works out. And so then anyway, he gets over to the tank. He gets the machine gun off the tank. Like, thank God the guy, it was in a tank division when he was
Dude,
in the
I do not
army.
care about
So he
these
knows how
like
the machine gun
individual
works. He
people's
knows how it's
stories
attached to the tank. He gets
from
it off the
October
tank,
7th.
and he starts like fiddling with it, and it's jammed.
We have
It
to
won't shoot.
relive the
And
trauma
so
every single day.
third
Just
time's
like
a
the
charm.
Holocaust.
He prays the
It's gonna be like
prayer. He
October
says the
7th
thing, please
museums.
just let me
We're all gonna
save
have to
these
go visit.
people. And then ka-kunk, the gun works.
Amazing.
See ya, Hamas.
Oh my God,
He
it's
ends
a
up
miracle.
saving
It's
70,
a Jewish
75 people,
miracle.
something like that, behind the tank. Fights for 10 hours. Neither him nor his son ends up dying.
Amazing,
So
bro.
all he cares about, he comes home, doesn't even tell his wife that he went to the Nova Festival or anything. Just was like, yeah, we went to the HQ. We're under attack, you know, like kept it quiet.
Yeah,
and
how
then
do
it's
you
like,
tell
I
your
brought
wife
my son
after
home.
something like that, you know? It's like, by
And
the way,
he's like, I brought our son home. He's okay, you know.
Yeah.
And
hello,
like,
my name is Rambo. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for real.
how
And
do
so
I
then
tell your
it's
wife
like,
that, you know?
he was never going to tell the story. He finally starts to tell the story, like, to some people privately. He was never going to tell the story, and they're like, "No, people have got to hear this story. Like, there
That's
should be a freaking
amazing.
movie about this story."
They
and
should.
so,
Yeah, there should
people
be a
go watch
movie. Yeah.
Chris's video of this. It's amazing.
I will, and we'll.
I've
share
heard there's
it
already
too.
like
That's,
15
that's
movies
a really
about
important
October
thing. I didn't
7th
see
that
the
have been
story.
made.
This,
or
by the
are
way,
being
Oh,
made.
becomes like
man.
the other
I'm gonna
moment,
share
right?
it.
So I'd been to Yad Vashem the night before. No, wait, the Knesset was the night before, so that was a little bit less impactful in terms of drama. But
Sounds
you know,
like
I
a
was
real
looking
that, I just
neutral,
want to say
non-biased
that
trip.
Like I've been there before in many instances, not just in Israel, but also in my life, where like something, where like I really felt like I was in danger, and like in that moment, like I really just like turned myself to God, and I just, please help me. And
Yeah.
God, one of the things that we say in our prayers is, God is the God who saves, God is the God who listens, God is the God who hears. These are all things we repeat, because it's like there's like a
Did you
as you're
see
talking
Elon
about,
agreed
we are
that
the people that
Fuentes
choose
is a
life,
psyop yesterday?
I did see that.
and,
Yeah.
like, not to focus on the past, but to move
Nick
forward to
is
the
the center
future
of the
type a
universe.
people. It's
Seriously.
all this is like a really like a Jewish trait, like you said, like you were like, he says the prayer, like every Jew knows the prayer, right?
Oh my
that
God,
you're supposed
dude!
to
Are
say
we
right
30
before you
minutes
die,
in and like we're
it's
talked
like,
about
it's
trees
just,
and
like,
like
so
a sob
ingrained
story
in our
about October
culture.
7th?
And
Jeez.
there's so many topics we
This
can
is
get into later.
quality
I'm supposed to be,
Jewish
like,
entertainment
debating one
here.
of these Black Hebrew Israelites soon who thinks I'm not really a Jew, and it's like, but like our whole culture is preserved. Those topics, I would love to have you for 3 hours, James, because I have so
Ask him
many
about the
topics I can go
Nazis,
down with you. I want to be
Adam.
focused, but in the spirit of like moving forward and moving to life and not focusing on the past, I want to focus on like the positive stuff. We heard about Yad Vashem. We heard about October 7th.
No.
Like you also posted like so many pictures at sites I never even seen before, because I obviously don't go to Christian sites in the land. But
Obviously,
But you could.
I could exactly.
Obviously, I don't
The
go to
only
church.
the only people who aren't allowed in the Christian sites are people carrying weapons. They just
And
they have a no
also,
weapons
it's kind
policy.
of also kind of bizarre. You could go to Christian sites, you can go to Jewish sites, but you can't go to Muslim sites.
That's right. And
Right,
Jews can't
Muslims are the
go to
problem.
the Temple Mount.
And I appreciate you saying that, because there's not a lot of podcasters in the Jewish space that talk about Jewish rights on the Temple Mount. And on this podcast, we never shut up about it. And, I don't know if you know this, there's this like red heifer thing that's like,
Yeah, here we go. He's reading my
Oh,
question.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually am one of the possessors of the ashes of the red heifer. We just did the ceremony and like we went through it. And that's all about preparing us to just get over this wall, this Western wall, and to be there in the center of our spot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's like the story. Like you see all these people like, you're not supposed to worship a wall. It's like, they don't worship the wall. The wall is the closest place that they're allowed to go
and
to
a lot of those
their
prayers
holiest
are like,
site.
please God, let us get over
No, it's
this
the only
wall. Let us
piece
go
of
to
the
other
temple
side."
remaining is actually
Like a
what it
lot
is.
of people here in America think what's underneath that golden dome is a mosque, and that's not true.
Oh,
Nobody
the
thinks
mosque is
that.
down at the end of
It's the rock, the foundation
compound.
stone.
And the thing under the golden dome is the peak of the mountain, where, as the story goes, Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac and the covenant with God was formed. It is the dome of the rock. What's under it is the rock. And it's the holiest site of the Jewish faith, and Jews can't go there.
I said
because
this
the
to
Muslims
Alex
can keep them
Jones.
out.
The Jews
this
can't
week.
go to their magic
Alex
rock.
had me on, and we were talking about this, and he asked me, like, because he said like he felt very like druidic when he went to Stonehenge. And he said, what's it like to touch the Western Wall? Like, do you have a feeling? And I wanted to say so many things in that moment about everything. And I pivoted and I ended up talking about, this exact topic, that on top of the Temple Mount, there's actually two spots. One is the Haram al-Sharif, which is the Dome of the Rock, which is the holiest site to Jews. And to Muslims, it's just like a shrine. It's like a glorious fountain in the center of a park.
Just a shrine.
It serves no purpose in their faith.
Us.
But then their third holiest site is the Al-Aqsa
this beautiful
Mosque,
golden dome,
which is at the southernmost tip of the
It's
temple.
so important to them that they block.
James,
us out
I want to
of
tell you something mind-blowing right now.
Uh-oh.
Do you know what
He's
the
going to say the
Al-Aqsa
temple
Mosque
can
really
go
is?
up there anyway.
Tell me.
It's the palace of King Solomon.
No, that fits.
It's he built his palace right next to the temple.
Yeah.
So I just, for historiography's sake, Like, I want to thank you because not so many people understand this, that Jews really don't have rights. Like, you were talking about divisions inside of the Israeli government. And, there's so many discriminatory practices against Judaism by the government of Israel, where
right.
like the Jewish religion, the Jewish culture, our faith is limited. They're okay giving away holy Jewish sites, So I want to thank you for that, because not a lot of people who come to Israel, Jew or Gentile, mention that. And it's so important to us.
No, and so the reason that they all pray or people pray at the wall is because it's the closest they're allowed to get. And so the point isn't the wall. The point
That's not
is,
true. They
like
march
you were
in
phrasing
and
it,
go
they
to
get
the
past
Temple
the
Mount all
wall,
the time.
which is this gigantic,
His buddy Shapiro
religious
marched
moment
in
thing,
and did
and
it.
it's a challenge because the Muslims have possession of that territory and won't allow it. Which isn't to say that the Muslims are always like that, right? So it's actually a Muslim who owns the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, or that holds the keys to it. There's a mosque directly across the street from there. And Christians, Jews, everybody is allowed in that site, right? There's no, I mean, other than people carrying weapons at the time, there's no restriction. So it's not like there's a very clear power play happening here, that people just kind of don't understand. And so
And it's
the
an
visiting to the
ancient
wall,
power play also.
a very old power play.
For
that's right.
example, the Armenian quarter of the old city of Jerusalem. Do you know the story of how they got
How are
there?
we spelling heifer today?
Tell me.
How do you spell heifer?
When the Crusaders came and
H-E-I-F-E-R.
conquered Jerusalem, the Crusaders had it for 40 years.
I think so.
F-E-R. Oh, there's
All
one
they
F.
were doing was frantically trying to find entrances
Okay.
on the Temple Mount to find mystical Kabbalistic writings and secret artifacts.
Go.
Which they found some. That's what started the cults of Europe, the Knights Templars, and all those things.
Yeah.
So when Salah ad-Din came to conquer Jerusalem, it was a bloodless war.
I'm just trying to get Adam to acknowledge
Negotiated
me
with
so
the
that
Now
Crusader
we're
James
just
king
doing.
can
I know he
stop.
hasn't looked at the chat the whole time. Now he's doing Jewish,
Crusaders would
ancient
forfeit
Jewish
the city.
history, temple propaganda, or
And that-
something like.
because the Armenians were very close with Salah ad-Din at the time, that the Armenians would be brought in to be the custodians of the Christian sites, because they were A, the original Christians, the very first Christians, and B, they were a neutral party, A, Christian, and B, close to Salah ad-Din. So it's kind of a cool thing. So the Armenians actually have, like, they really sit on like the ancient stuff. They have like so many relics in the old city of Jerusalem. I actually lived in the Armenian quarter. That's how I know a lot about this. When I lived in the old city, I spent most of my time like trying to find secret entrances to Agartha and stuff like that. I was like, take me into the earth, God. I'm ready to go.
That's
as long
funny.
as I'm alive and not dead.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
so out of all the spiritual sites that you went to, forgetting about drama, like let's focus on God. I don't know if you're really like a man of faith or where you sit spiritually. Your spirituality
Let him answer.
is a little bit ambiguous.
Yeah, you're ambiguous.
Spot. Where did you go? Did you have a holy feeling, like a otherworldly feeling? A God feeling at any place in Israel?
Say no.
No, and so many people have asked me this, but what I had was this unbelievable connection to history. Probably actually the most impressive of those kinds of feelings was when we actually did go over to the area around the temple, and then we looked back to the mountain where the first thing we did in the morning is we got up and we drove to this lookout, and I wasn't exactly sure. I'm still not exactly sure why we went there, but it's obviously like, we go to this mountain, and then you have this huge view of Jerusalem. We're all first day there for the first time in our lives, all of us. So we've never seen it before. And it's like, wow, and there's your first view of the temple and the Dome of the Rock. And you're like, wow. And you can see old Jerusalem laying on the mountain.
The
and all
temple.
this.
There's no
wow.
temple.
And then we go back, we go over there. And we did all the City of David stuff. I think the Pilgrimage Road thing was really, really impressive also. But the feeling I got down there, like, the strongest feeling, you get this idea because the stones are so like shiny and smooth, even though they're 2,000 plus years old, that like, holy crap, a lot of people walked up and down this road. But then there's this drainage tunnel under it. And that's where during 70 AD, when the Romans were destroying Jerusalem, that's where like a lot of Jews made their last stand, right? They hid in that tunnel, which was a drainage tunnel, which is AKA a sewage tunnel too, underneath the pilgrimage road to like basically do guerrilla warfare against the Romans, which, you know, isn't going to go real well in the long run, but still they weren't going to go quietly. They weren't just going to die. So you have this sense of history there. But when we got up and out of that, and then we get up onto the Temple Mount complex, and then we look back, they're like, okay, see that mountain over there? And like, yeah, like, that's where you were this morning. And this was the moment where it like really kind of like socked me in the head in the sense of history in depth. And it was like, that spot over there is where it says in Genesis that, you know, Abraham has come across and he's got Isaac. He's come across and he's ridden his donkey 3 days to get to this mountain. And that's where he got the first sight of the mountain that he was meant to go to with Isaac in order to do the sacrifice. And that's where
Jews
Abraham,
in their tunnels,
in all likelihood, looked for the first time on what ended up becoming the temple site. And then, of course, had to walk down through all this and then back up the other side. It's pretty mountainous. It's steep. And so, you know, it's all of a sudden, it's like I felt like I got plugged into 3,500 years of history. Or
Oh,
longer,
come on.
whatever it
He
is.
got plugged into
was
the
like,
Matrix, and all of a
holy
sudden
smokes.
it downloaded into his
brought the
head.
whole thing
Yeah.
alive.
And he
That's
lived
right.
the history.
That's right.
And how does that affect your view on Western civilization? I know you're a big
Israel's in the
like that-
east.
to that, but if that is like kind of like the genesis of
It doesn't
when-
at
Yeah,
all.
that's right.
The Genesis.
It's like, you know, I got to touch the stones. You know, obviously I walked on those stones. I walked on the pilgrimage road, which it is, I think now, but it wasn't open to the public at the time yet where we went. Maybe some of it was, I don't know what the story is, but it wasn't fully open yet. We got to go on a VIP tour that basically the public hadn't been able to do yet. The only people down there were soldiers that were getting shown what was going on. You know, there's a big connection there. They want the IDF people to understand what they're fighting for and what the history is and where they came from. So I felt like I got to, whether it's these stones that allegedly, you know, Jesus was crucified on, maybe it's the right one, maybe it's not, whether it's the stone where Jesus allegedly, you know, sweated after being betrayed, knowing he's going to be put to death. I touched those stones. I touched
What was
the,
that?
you know, I walked
He's
on the
screwing her, he's
road,
not even listening.
all this stuff. I just got this sense that I'm touching the
For the
foundation
plan to
that
advance,
Western civilization is
Hamas
built
must
on.
disarm. Should you rethink butter? It
So,
depends.
so
Butter
stones
is
are
not
there.
butter,
So
it's not
Jesus is
butter.
Western
Crucified
civilization.
on.
Yeah.
You're cracking me up.
Is he?
Sorry
You're
about
cracking
that.
me up.
I'm
He's
trying
just
to-
No.
not listening at all and playing all these things.
Yeah, you're opening that. I'm like, I touched the foundation of Western civilization, and now is butter really butter?
Yeah, that's so funny.
It's hilarious.
So
But no,
rude.
that's what I connected to. Like, rather than having this mystical religious
Very
experience,
Oh, your
I had
Jesus
this, like,
stones?
Wow,
Not-
this is
don't
the
care.
foundation upon which, and I even tweeted that this is the foundation upon which Western civilization
Yeah.
was built.
No, it's not.
There's nothing to be sorry about. I almost said sorry, but it's like it's
Greeks
no,
and
it's
Romans,
like-
bro.
No, of course
This is
It's in
where
the
the
East.
idea of Western
It's not
civilization
in the
comes from.
Yeah.
West.
This is the
You know,
yeah,
the
it's the root
Romans
from
don't
which it
realize
grows.
that they have their
Yeah.
origin
This mythical story
in
of
the
a Jew
Bible.
walking around
The
Jerusalem.
origin
Yeah.
story of the
built
Romans
Western
is in the
civilization.
Bible.
Yeah,
It's
real.
Jacob and Esav, and Esav has Edom, and Edom has Eliphaz, and Eliphaz has Romulus and Remus.
What did he just say?
And the Talmud and the Mishnah and the Midrash all have this story that they were nursed by wolves. The same story is
Oh,
corroborated.
the
in Jewish
foundation of
tradition,
Rome.
that the
Oh.
two
Amazing.
twin boys were nursed by wolves. You know, so you know it really is a Western civilization moment.
They really
here,
built
you
Rome,
know, where
guys.
it's
Don't you
kinda
know?
like, you know, it's more than Western civilization too, because it's also the Arabic civilization. It's all the stars of the sky. It was what was promised to Abraham. There's like the whole genesis of the modern age really kind of like emulsified in this one place, you know.
It did. It actually is pretty profoundly clear because, you know, if you know the values that are portrayed through Genesis, and then into the you know, both Exodus through Leviticus and Deuteronomy, where you get the kind of like the legal basis upon which, say, the United States' foundation was laid.
No.
A lot of Americans don't appreciate, but you go read some founding fathers at how often they reference not the Bible, but specifically the Hebrew Bible in the formative, aspect of their thinking for how to organize the U.S. as a political entity. Now, culturally,
the Old Testament is about having
more deeply
kings.
rooted in kind of a
The founders were
Christian kind of milieu.
anti-king.
Not entirely. There's other thought as well, certainly, and Lockean thought, and some Greek
You should put that in the
Enlightenment
chat.
thought, and so on. But,
Wasn't the Old
like,
Testament
they're
about having
heavy-duty
kings?
as far as the legal structure of the United States? What form will our republic take is very heavily
Bringing
based
it
off of more or less the Torah, which is
The
a very
Mishnah,
uncomfortable.
actually. I love this
Is it?
story, and again, James Lindsay impresses me with his vast knowledge and understanding of things that
Oh,
nobody
James,
else
you
seems
are
to
so
understand.
smart,
Being a
and you
good
just have
boy.
knowledge
The
that no one
founding
else
fathers
knows
of this
that.
country studied Talmud.
Good
They
boy.
all knew Hebrew very well. Thomas Jefferson learned Talmud with Chaim Solomon, and the Mishnaic law was a heavy influence on the creation of the American Constitution and our due process of law, the way that we carry out our system of justice. They were in that generation, they were like recreating the Bible. They considered themselves like a new Israel of sorts. Like they really believed that America was this new Israel, and they connected to it through their Christian faith, obviously, but they still granted freedom of religion at the time. And that's one of the best parts about the Constitution that people don't really think about. When the founding fathers granted freedom of religion, what religions were in America at the time? You had Christians, you had pagans, you had Jews. That's it.
There were not
You
pagans.
didn't have
in
anybody
America.
else. So I think that's very important when assessing it. So would you say, James Lindsay, that like the connection to historiography gave you a spiritual experience in the land? Did you have like
He's
something
trying
that
again.
connected you to,
Did you have a Jewish
to
experience,
spirit
James?
or God or higher power, anything like that, even history?
That's the Am Israel Chai part. That's where I connected to something more spiritual. This idea of despite all of the challenges that history and life in a messy
Jewish
world can
suffering
bring
is
at you,
his
there's
spiritual
still,
experience.
life is the thing that we're going to keep going on living, and living means living all the way, having kids, fruitful, multiply, prosper, thrive, develop to the best of your ability. You're building cities knowing that they might get blown up, but you're still building them and you're still making them nice. I mean, maybe not every neighborhood in Tel Aviv, but otherwise,
they do their best.
It's an amazing testimony, right? And the connection happened kind of, like I said, twice. Once was coming out of Yad Vashem and looking at just Jerusalem on the outside of
This is the most boring discussion
and
ever.
the other one was when General Solomon
It would be way
finished
more
his
entertaining
story.
if he was interacting with the
we
chat.
went up to say bye. He was going to drive home and we were going to go off to our next thing. And so we went to shake hands and say bye. And it's like we just looked at each other in the eyes as kind of each of us and was like, Am Israel Chai. Like, it's like you suddenly just get it, right? And so that was the main kind of spiritual connection.
Israel lives,
like,
man. You just get it.
What that represents lives, and it's not just the Jewish people, as in like, or the nation of Israel. It's like there's this deeper thing. It's like the spirit of civilization and humanity lives because we're willing to stand and fight for civilization and humanity and decency and beauty in the world and our children and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that was the real connection. And it's like, I can't shake that feeling. So it sort of has that, but I'm not like, I was with Jay Richards, who's at the Heritage Foundation. I was with him. While I was there. He's one of the people
Heritage
on our
Foundation
delegation.
was there. Oh,
and I told him, like, he's, jaw dropped, eyes wide, for a lot of, especially the Christian sites. He's Catholic. So he's just soaking it in and loving it and just amazed. And so he's having this kind of very important Christian experience. He said that when we went into the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, his pulse was probably 120 plus the whole time.
Wow.
Right. Like he's just having this moment. And
he literally
it was a big deal for him to get to go up and see it all and touch it all. And so I'm sure he had that kind of experience. But I told him, what's weird for me is I never thought anything other than that the Bible's probably at least archaeologically true. Like the story that it tells is at least pretty close to historically what really happened. So I'm not like it. I didn't have like this blown away, like the Bible came to
all
life
mythical
kind of
stories,
moment.
pretty
It's like
much.
because I didn't doubt that in the first place, I guess. And then seeing like, for me, not to put it down, I mean, JD Vance was all about some Church of the Holy Sepulchre, but it's like it's really ornate in there, and it's like I felt like it actually takes away from.
It's very different than Western Christianity.
Yes.
It is extravagant.
The tomb was very interesting. It's all very beautiful. But then when you go back into this kind of, the Armenian part of the church, and it got destroyed in a fire, and there's many years ago, and there's this really weird rule that they can't fix anything unless everybody agrees to whatever they're going to do. So it's still just wrecked. But then they have the, unadorned tomb in there.
Dude, why are they boring
allegedly Joseph?
Who's going to clip this besides the one him saying it's not a big deal?
Maybe or maybe
exactly.
not. Exactly.
This
Jesus
is like
laid in, but probably not. And
let's talk about anti-Semitism. We're talking about something
his other family members.
Besides
then
these
you
boring
go,
details of
we
your
went back in there,
trip.
And it's like
we could be talking about the red heifer. We could be talking about Nazis. We could be talking about the woke right.
2,000 years
James could be complaining about me
without all the gold and the
it's
shiny
disappointing.
Stuff
is what
and
it is. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
And so I don't connect kind of to music.
I've already sent Adam King 2 super chats. He hasn't asked either of them.
Feeling stuff. And it all felt very kind of
he's like a
feeling stuff to me.
Boring, dull
I
Rick
didn't get
Steves.
that, but then this connection to history and the connection to life.
Hey, thanks, Darla,
for giving attention.
Anyway, that's what
Appreciate
I think,
it.
Was the biggest impression that I got. And again, you get it over and over and over and over and over and over again. We got to dinner one night, and
this will be the only interview anybody asks him about this
next
stuff
day,
too.
His wife
So this is as
is
good
in a
as
car
it
wreck,
gets.
and she's fine as far as I know.
He's got
So what had happened though was
on Rumble, and most of them are us.
Freaking terrorists
and he's
came
got
and they
another,
dumped oil all
10
over
on
the road
YouTube,
so that they
and
knew
they're
that
all
every
us.
car coming down the hill would crash because the road's covered in oil.
Oh,
asking none of the questions
the
we're
reaction
interested in
was
talking about.
what you just said.
Exactly.
Yeah,
take out all their leaders.
So who is this for?
Yeah, it's like you want to go rudimentary? We don't even have to use space lasers.
Yeah, right. So, and that too, right? Like we were talking about the Iran nuclear site strikes, right? And the B-2 bombers, and they're all very happy about this. And they were like, but like Americans need to understand, America didn't get involved in our war. They solved a technical problem for us. We would have got these sites.
Oh, yeah?
Without a doubt.
Oh, we didn't get involved. We just used our
we
advanced
would have
bombers.
got these sites. But, we gave the red carpet. The B-2s had been training the run. They took the run. They did it flawlessly. They solved a problem for us, and we're very happy. And that's where I got this sense that, like, the relationship we have militarily is not a traditional alliance. It's a strategic partnership against, shared threats that I think is a very important, like, perspective shift. And all these people here are like, I'm not getting involved in another Middle Eastern war because of Israel.
On your
and
delegation?
It's like, no, that's what Americans say.
Oh, yeah,
but in our delegation and the people around us were like, Israel
lunatics
doesn't
on
outsource
the,
its
on the
security.
woke right, exactly.
Yeah, talk about the woke right. Talk about the woke right.
Like that was the other sense I got. I said that in the podcast too. Is like I knew there was some distance. We'll call it like 10 feet between propaganda and reality, but it's more like it's like 1,000 miles. It was so far that it was like I was seeing people talk about. I was in Israel, so I'm seeing people talk about Israel, like in my mentions on Twitter at writ large, and like explaining, like these idiots are explaining like what it's like, and I'm like looking around, like it's so far wrong. They might as well be talking. I put it on Twitter the other day. They might as well be talking about like, I don't like how the football bat is used. And it's like
people are just like wrong on Twitter about Israel,
so
like 1,000 miles wrong.
One of the things that
wrong about what, dude?
This show has been incredibly successful at is, I would just say, converting anti-Semites to Zionists.
Oh yeah, James is the guy for that.
When you say Am Yisrael Chai, I have several followers of the show who watch religiously who were like seriously Aryan Nation people, and
Amalek, did Adam King
the
convert
day
you?
that they said to me, Am Yisrael Chai. They got it, and they were like, Am Yisrael Chai, Adam. And I've been very fortunate. I got to debate David Duke. I got to debate Fuentes twice and Stu Peters all those times. Basically, every single one of those monkeys in the circus. I've got
Goyim cattle.
And I haven't even begun clipping that stuff, and I'm so, so the Adam King flood is about to hit the internet like nobody's ever seen before. So I got all this content from out of left field that nobody's been that I've just been like waiting on,
That's
but
hilarious.
but this this woke right
That's
literally fights
hilarious.
against every single thing that they purport to believe in when they attack Israel, and they attack with this like virulent nature where they're like,
And not just Israel too, like America too.
yeah, and they
right?
freak out like people on the left, like scream at the skiers. You know what I'm saying? Like the outrage, It's like,
Oh yeah, like look at their big narrative now. It's like ever since Charlie Kirk got shot, they're like, everybody who criticizes me is trying to kill me. They want me murdered.
yeah.
And it's
And
like,
the craziest thing is
calm
Candace
down.
Owens literally
like
said,
Jews never do
point
that.
blank, that I personally was a part of the plot to kill Charlie Kirk at that Hampton
here we
summit that I
go.
wasn't
Adam
even
King
invited
crying
to.
about
I didn't
that
even
again.
know about
Adam's
it. Never
like, they're
met
all
Bill
trying to
Ackman
kill
in my
me.
life. I should now.
Mhm.
Bill
Say it
Ackman,
right
if you're
away.
listening, please invite me to the next party. But
Yeah,
it was
for
through
real.
that I really got to
For
connect
real.
with Josh
I want to
Hammer,
go to the Jew
and then
party.
through some of the death threats that I got from her lunatic
Can you
followers.
invite me for? Do you see
that I
how
got
bad
to
he wants to
connect
go to
with
the
Seth
Jew? He wants to
Dillon,
be in the
who
Jew
helped
club.
me,
He's so bad.
with some police stuff because he got that guy in Florida who tried to, do the same thing to him. So
yeah,
like
sure.
these lunatics, they're like going online, inciting mob violence for free,
Inciting
getting
mob
paid to do it.
violence.
But like literally when I say for free, like no pushback, like no, it's like yelling fire in a packed building when there's no fire and having no consequences.
I don't want to give him that much
and
money.
Yeah.
It's just like, and this is what the anti-Semitic they're not anti-Semitic adjacent either. Like Tucker would like to be an anti-Semitic adjacent, but because his platform is so big, when he platforms people, he becomes like anti-Semitic senior. He just goes to the top so quickly.
Yeah,
But,
give us the Tucker
these,
take.
These when they LARP.
Just say, hey James,
constantly
what do you think about
Israel,
Tucker?
They're really LARPing about everything that the West purports to believe: family, life, values, America. One thing that I would really love, if you go back to Israel again, maybe you did on this trip. I don't know if you went to any shopping mall. They're called canyons. The Canyon
No.
in Tel Aviv. James, this is the
There's
coolest
Amalek.
thing to see in Israel, because for our generation,
Okay,
the
now we're
Canyon
doing
in Tel
shopping
Aviv,
malls.
they
Hey,
did
let's
it
talk
on
about the-
accident.
Come
They didn't do it
on.
on purpose. It is literally like a cutout from like a time machine warp to American culture in the 1980s. It's like hot tub time machine everything. I mean, like it's like the way that their movie theaters
If
are like,
Adam
they,
King
like,
doesn't
bought
ask
used
any of these
movie theater
questions, he
equipment from
owes
the
me the amount in
1980s because they
super
were so
chatted
poor.
red heifer
It
ashes.
is like literally
That's
a
the rule.
throwback.
I'm never
Every
watching another
place
live
of the
stream
shopping
again
mall
if
is
none
like
of
the
these
American
questions are
shopping
asked.
mall experience. It doesn't even
Seriously.
exist anymore. I remember growing up, you went to the shopping mall to go hang out with people. Now, nothing. You don't have American shopping malls. You don't have that. But in Israel, it's like it is that American culture, and it's something beautiful to see.
Oh, dude, our shopping malls.
So,
Hello,
anyway.
fellow
Isn't that
shopping
thing that
malls.
like Jack Posobiec was saying that we all needed was like Pizza
That's
Hut
hilarious. Come on.
nationalism or whatever? So it's all going to be like a throwback to like the best of the 80s, and we're going to build like a nationalism out of it. And it's like Israel just did it. Like
They on
Israel has the
accident.
thing.
Yeah.
Once
Because
again,
Israel has
they
all our
have the
fucking
thing
money.
that they don't
Yeah.
that the woke right's against. It's so freaking funny. No, I've got to. I'll probably be going back.
woke right is against
pretty soon,
nationalism.
actually.
I'd
too,
love for
so.
you to come on my
Pretty
trip. I just
soon. He's
started
going
putting
back
this
again.
trip
Pretty
together.
soon.
It's
Oh,
called
God.
the Anti-Semites Trip to Israel.
I want to go. I want to
And
go.
it
I want
has
to go.
some
I want to
big
go.
names
Not really.
of
I'm never going to
people
Israel. That would be a
who
bad
were
idea.
on the fence. And I'm putting this out there to anybody, including Fuentes. I said it
I
on
want to
Jones
go.
to Fuentes.
I'm going to see
He's
if he
welcome to come
asks me to
too.
come to Israel.
Because I'm identifying people who I think are on the fence, who could possibly,
I would go if I didn't
truly
have kids.
proven wrong,
I'm not trying
could
to get
say that
I
they're
don't have
wrong
kids.
black-bagged
and
by
Israel's
Mossad.
a great place. And so, like, I have seats on this trip. I'm only taking 10 people, and I got huge names that are already committed to the trip. So hopefully we're going to do it in, like, February, March, if I could finish up my real job first. You know, I'm not here just trying to make money off of clicks. I actually don't make any money off of clicks. I have a
No
store,
one
and it's
cares,
really so that I can
Adam.
put people's faces on shirts
Making
and
money
make
off
fun
of
them,
clips.
like Candace
No.
Owens. You know, that's pretty much the only reason I do it, is to troll harder. You know,
That's
so
right.
and my trolling worked
$7,000.
so great.
How
I
does
got
James
James
make
freaking
money?
Lindsay on the show to talk about a variety of things.
Ask my question.
Israel is amazing. Everything. I don't know if you
Israel's
saw this.
amazing.
I'm going to throw it up on the screen really quick, but there was, I put this as the flyer to our episode. Did you see this? Where is it? Did it get taken down?
Is he going to talk about you retweeting it?
I hope so.
They just put a giant newspaper article up about J.D. Vance being the disengagement from Israel president.
Oh yeah, I saw that. The first post-Israel guy or whatever, and what a picture they picked. The American conservative.
He's practically like Zig.
Oh, they're trying to cancel the American.
Yeah, he's like waving to the crowd very clearly, but they've caught this
Zig
moment.
Heil, but they cropped it because they want to make it look like a Zig Heil.
That's right. They want to make him
scared
look
of
like
JD
that.
Vance.
It's like,
That's what
man,
I've been
JD,
hearing a
you
lot
are
of.
in.
Wow.
You're in a hotbird seat right now. Like he is like, he's got his little circumstance. He's built around himself, and boy, oh boy, is he in a pinch. JD Vance can lead a post-Israel America by the American conservative, and the American conservative was founded by Pat Buchanan, the woke rights little darling that they all want to give the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
And
even
Tucker
Trump
Carlson
literally said
Tucker Carlson is really like Pat Buchanan 2.0.
That's right. And like I found this clip the other day, I put it up on social media, of Trump back in the day talking to Jay Leno on the Tonight Show about Pat Buchanan. And he's just like, he's having some Nazi love affair with the Third Reich. And it's like hilarious. Like Trump like straight up said that about Buchanan back in the 90s. But yeah, so there's this guy I'm talking to right now.
He did the Jewish Zionist
I've shared
smear.
some of his stuff that he's dug up, showing that NIAS, the Iranian lobby,
Trump also
actually had something to do with like the formation of the American conservative. Like what?
They're
the post-liberal or post-Israel America guys. Really, Iran? What a surprise! What's going on there? And so, dirty dealings, man. Things are not as they seem for a lot of Americans.
Dirty dealings, says the guy that goes on pro-Israel propaganda trips.
4 years, like communists infiltrate everything.
Right.
And it's not just communist
strategy.
That's right.
I have so many questions I want Adam King to ask him, and he's not asking any of them.
The best way to control the opposition is to become the opposition ourselves.
Right.
But the problem is the meme of controlled opposition has got stuck to the rhinos.
I'm not sending him any more super chats.
Fail. Like they are controlled opposition in the sense that they don't do enough, right? So they're like the withholders. But on the other hand, you can be controlled opposition the other way by going too far and alienating people. Like take these lunatics coming out
Nick and Tucker
we're going to repeal the 19th
to the
Amendment
Jews
because all these women keep voting for Democrats, right? Okay, fine. What power do you have to do that?
Two-thirds
What power
of young men voted for Zoran
the
Mandami.
Constitution?
Right.
You can't even win a basic election. You're going to amend the Constitution? This isn't going to happen. So what does that mean that they're doing? What they're doing is they're putting out this message
Adam King
that
is stealing my
rallies
money.
those exact women that they're saying are the problem to go out and vote stronger for Democrats so that Republicans lose elections. And we're supposed to not understand this strategy because we're all supposed to be so dumb that we take what they're doing at face value. No, they really are against the 19th Amendment because they think men are better than women for whatever set of reasons. Bull crap. They're getting Democrat women to vote in record numbers because Democrats win elections when that happens. That's the whole point of this. And the American conservative is, like with this stuff, is just another example of this dialectical agitprop, which
also,
they blame
Heritage
on Jews.
Foundation. Did you know that Heritage pays Tucker $75,000 an episode?
Not anymore.
I saw that there was a marketing agreement there.
Joel Mulberry put out a big report on it. He's paid.
They think they're going to cancel Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson has more money than God.
Heritage Foundation, which was a 775% media increase.
Did you see that hostage video that the president of the Heritage Foundation had to release yesterday?
It really was like 1.2 million.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to show it on my next stream.
Went
man,
into Tucker's
he looks like he has like a gun to his head off camera.
So all these people are at Heritage. I imagine your buddy from your trip has a lot to say right now. What a weird timing to get. What weird timing to get back from that trip.
I'm so grateful for the situation for him that this all landed after, so he didn't have to like deal with that while he was over there, because this was magical for him. He's extraordinarily pro-Israel, and
Average
he
Catholic.
gets it. Like he connects with it.
They talk
And
about
so
Israel like it's like going on.
I know there's a lot
World.
of difference of opinion within
Yeah.
Heritage. Kevin Roberts, however, was placed to replace Kay Cole James. Kay Cole James was the previous president of Heritage, and she had veered pretty heavy into the CRT style woke left stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They had to replace her. They replace her with Kevin Roberts, who comes from this Texas Policy Institute. And he's, pretty tightly connected to a lot of these Claremont folks, and that helped him get that job. And ever since, it's like there's been this kind of like factional thing going on there. Kevin's showing up, sitting down with at the time Senator J.D. Vance, now obviously Vice President, but he was Senator J.D. Vance at the time, and Patrick Deneen, talking about the need for regime change. That's the title of Deneen's book, For a Fundamentally New Order, which Deneen is a post-liberal philosopher at Notre Dame, recommends something he calls a mixed constitution, mixed monarchy, aristocracy, and limited democracy to replace the classical liberal constitution. He's one of these guys where classical liberalism and John Locke
to lessen the power of the people.
Anything to lessen the power of the people. Right. Well, the problem, of course, is that the people will make their own decisions. And if they make their own decisions, my goodness, they might make the wrong decisions.
God forbid, they might choose to drink raw milk. I mean, we have to control them. We have to make sure they can only drink pasteurized milk. I mean, like, give me a break. They're going to kill themselves, these silly, stupid humans.
Yeah. So, I mean, but this is the thing is, so Heritage has landed itself in a bucket of trouble this week, and it's sort of all unnecessary, right? I guess the story is that they had
volunteered to make those comments. Like, he wasn't being pressed.
No, the only pressure came from the fact that they had updated their donation page and removed the verbiage saying, that they had a friendship with Tucker Carlson, effectively, from what I understand, actually by coincidence, right after Tucker interviews Fuentes. So now all of a sudden some journalists pick this up. I think Jason Hart picked it up and is like, why did they change that? Maybe Heritage is backing away from Tucker. So then all of a sudden Kevin decides he has to make this statement without approving it with anybody. That's like,
he's the president of the
Tucker.
organization.
Like,
he doesn't have to get approval.
Like, we're not going to cancel people or whatever because they
and then
just
the whole thing
fluff
gets warped into like the Jews.
They fluffed a Nazi. That's exactly the same language Ben Shapiro used.
And me.
Oddly specific language, James.
What was it?
To, like, get mad at
so
Jews for the new thing,
we watched Ben Shapiro's takedown of Tucker Carlson yesterday, and Ben Shapiro said several times that Tucker Carlson fluffed Nick Fuentes. Yeah, and James just said that it's just like an odd word.
He didn't just fluff him, he like rolled over to him. Was kind of what it seemed like.
I kind of loved it.
Nick and the Groypers punked him, and Nick and Tucker said stuff out of line that he couldn't really prove. So I feel like he bent the knee is what it seemed like to me.
I don't know. I kind of felt like Tucker was giving a giant middle finger to everyone by just doing what he wanted to do. And I appreciate that.
I think like Fuentes is probably a competitor for that title, right? Pretty clearly.
Owens, the three of them kind of veer for.
Yeah.
They're talking about
of the Nazi youth.
Candace
Owens.
I
think that's pretty clear. What do they call Gen Z? Is getting called? They're calling themselves like Generation Zyklon. Yeah, that. Oh, yeah, they are right. But there are people that are calling them Generation Zyklon. That's what the Z stands for. And then they're like calling them like Zoomerwaffen. And it's like, dudes, like, I know you don't have any shame in your generation and you can't stand if somebody like criticizes you from the outside, but like, holy crap, like straighten up. I know a ton of Gen Z people
think it's going to win an election. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't believe that for 1 second.
The craziest part about it, like when people like goose step around Fuentes and think he's going to be president one day, the craziest thing is like, okay, so we're like the conservative right, and you don't even have consensus on the conservative right that like Hitler was good, that you're trying to get everybody to believe that Hitler was good. And then after that, to become president, then you have to go convince the Democrats. And if Democrats to say anything kindly about them, they will never goose step the Fuhrer. That is just not going to happen. They are just not going to do that. They're
not going to do it.
So it's like absolutely this, and that's why J.D.
As if that's what Nick's goal is.
To me. Almost like a controlled opposition, this like trying to tear things away from MAGA. Because it's no doubt that there's a division in MAGA. And I want your take on this because
Here we
2016.
go. Finally,
Obviously,
now we're in.
I mean, not obvious to you, but I was very involved in 2016 I was very close with Elliot Broidy, who was an amazing patriot, lover of the Constitution, huge powerhouse, was finance chair of the Republican Party at the time, got in that scandal, and literally they forced him out. The Playboy Playmate scandal, which I happen to have some sort of association.
Oh, come on,
Sidetrack.
That hacked his email.
Dude, name dropping. I'm such a big deal.
Atari's hacked Elliot's email.
This guy nobody's heard
Long
of.
story, different day.
Can't
But
even get invited to the Jew
2016,
meeting.
Elliot Broidy brought more than 60% of Trump's budget for the entire campaign. Trump put in like $200 million, and Elliot put in $428 million into that campaign through Jewish donors. It was incredible, and I knew a lot of them personally.
400 million
really
for
front
Trump's
row and center
campaign
of,
from
like,
Jews.
What Jewish power
Wow.
is, what it's capable of, and what it's not capable of.
Dude, capable of
2020,
just buying
the Jews
elections.
tried again. 2024. It is like clearly.
James is like, maybe you can connect me to
without
some of these people.
any doubt
Look at the
that
chat.
without Jewish financial
What are they
support,
saying?
we would be in communist Kamala's hellhole.
Generations icon.
Oh yeah.
Oh
totally.
man.
And so, how does that financial support, which
That's some lightning
has been
bolts.
woven into MAGA as like this really positive thing,
I
one thing
obviously
that-
disavow the lightning
let's
bolts.
just say
That's
the
awful.
Jews
Very
did that was
bad. Don't do that
good
shit.
for all the people who can't, admit anything good that Jews do. We just, are only bad. How do Jews get involved? How do Republican Jews get involved in 2028 if J.D. Vance is the front runner and Tucker Carlson is his puppeteer?
This is what I'm saying. Like, I've thought from basically October 8th or 9th, 23, like right after the whole thing happens in Israel, I'm like, oh, Gaza Floyd is coming, right? So they're going to pretend that poor Gaza is George Floyd and Israel is big bad Derek Chauvin with his knee like on his shoulder, choking him. I can't breathe or whatever. And I was like, this is going to get crazy, right? So everybody that had a half of a brain immediately knew. Like, I knew this on October 7th. I'm catching footage of all the horror happening in Israel, and I'm like, what's the left going to do? And I'm like, there's going to be pro-Palestine or whatever protests like all over America now. And they were that night, like literally that night. And they were everywhere, every university. Well, even on the 7th, they'd started by late that evening.
Yeah, it was
right?
like coordinated globally.
Totally coordinated. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, look
Hamas
at that.
coordinated
And
with
so
leftists
I
in
was
the United
like,
States.
okay, so here's what's going to
You
happen.
figured it out.
And this totally
Oh my
happened.
God.
I was like, Jews across America who vote at this point about 70% to Democrats. And obviously lots of resources behind a lot of the Jews, but not all of the Jews. There are poor Jews too, believe it or not. But a lot of resources.
And it's sad because that poor Jew is usually the guy who bears the brunt of the Rothschilds, is Yossi the falafel maker. It's
that's
like, we hate the Rothschilds who rule the world, so let's go attack Yossi the falafel maker who's barely surviving. It's
who makes a killer falafel. And so so anyways, I'm like watching
want
this.
some hummus, James Lindsay? You want some hummus?
Only if I can sit in a tower in Jerusalem and scheme with my hummus.
You just got invited to the next Elders of Zion meeting.
There we go. And so let's go. That's what they say. Let's go.
That's what Tucker actually busted us. That's actually what we do at the Elders of Zion. We sit around.
That's what the
and eat
Tower of
hummus.
David's actually for.
Yeah.
The secret meeting overlooking the city. So I'm watching this though, and I'm like, here's what's going to happen. All of a sudden, a bunch of Jews who've been voting Democrat but are like normal people are going to be like, oh shit, we're on the wrong side.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a huge matriculation to the Republican Party, and there's already a bunch of resources. They're all going to get doubled down, like you were talking about. Like, that's going to get doubled down. Like, the Republicans are our bet, and all of a sudden,
there was supposed
like,
to be
all
a big
Jewish
Jexit in the
support
last
is gonna
election.
step
It
over
didn't
to the
happen.
Republican side.
Yeah, they've been
and
saying this
the
as
master
long as I've been
plan
paying
cannot
attention to
allow that to
politics.
happen.
It's like,
There can be no out. The Jew squeeze has to be played. And so it was like, basically, get
70%
Candace
of
started.
Jews in New York voted for Zoran Mandami.
Get Candace started. Bring the Gabs over to Twitter and unleash the hounds.
Bring the
Make it
Gabs
look like
over
the
to
Republicans
Twitter.
are super anti-Semitic now, so that the Jews won't support and women and black and Indians and everybody else.
Absolutely.
Oh, holy shit!
All these people who came over to support
The
I
argument.
missed it.
The argument is that Nick Fuentes and the Groypers and all the woke right, they don't want the Jews to come over and support the Republicans, and so it's a psyop to make the Jews think that the Republicans are all super anti-Semitic, so the Jews continue to support the Democrats. That's the argument.
Mm-hmm.
Totally valid, James. Well done.
B, super foreign in origin, and C, it's a mind virus, so it actually is taking root, and Zoomerwaffen is a real problem. Like that group chat thing that got leaked on Politico, whatever you think about leaking private chats, and that's its own whole ethical discussion, the fact is they got leaked. The problem isn't the chats, and it's not even the specific contents of the chats, and it doesn't matter if the chats were jokes. It's that the chats are the very tippy top of a very big iceberg of things that are really happening everywhere. And anybody who's actually tapped in knows that. And people who aren't tapped in don't know it. And so this is where the whole argument about it was. And there's like this attempt to cover it up. Oh, you care more about what's going on in group chats than, people making jokes. And they try to play it off. Like even JD Vance was like, it's a bunch of young people. Turns out it's a bunch of professionals in their 30s.
Jokes.
Yeah, they're just kids making jokes. It's like the dude's 32 and has a beer gut and is officially running around with Republican branding. Like,
exactly.
But the thing is, though, is some of it's jokes and some of the people are more serious about jokes. I had this moment where, like, I met this this group of like younger conservatives when I was
James
at
is tapped
in February, in London with Jordan Peterson.
He knows what the kids read.
Alliance for Responsible Citizenship. And so I got this one chick, and she's like really smart young woman. She's like kind of edgy. It's very Zoomer, and I'm like, whatever. And she texts me one day, and she's
I know
like,
what you're talking about.
Oh my god. And I'm like, what? She's like, I hate the woke right. And I'm like,
why is a young girl,
right? Like, what do you hate about them?
James?
And she's like, they're ruining racism. And I'm like, what the hell does ruining racism mean? And she's like, racism is obviously bad, and it's supposed to be a bunch of funny jokes of people making fun of each other for stupid things, and everybody laughs. But some of these people legit hate blacks and Mexicans, and it's ruining everything for us and our like sense of humor. And I'm like, holy shit. So this is what's going on with the whole group chat thing, right? Is there's like this layer of jokes, and then there's a layer where it's not jokes, and the jokes are cover for the not jokes.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of the not jokes.
We better get rid of all those jokes, just in case you're making a not joke.
And he said the same thing.
And there's a game with the jokes, right? Which is to make the jokes, you have to just keep getting edgier
as
and edgier and
edgy
edgier
as possible, right? Edge
and
lord,
eventually,
they want to be all edge lords, and then
that's right. And you've gone so far.
Yeah, exactly.
You fall off the edge, you can't come back, and that's the problem. And it's like suddenly you're like so normalized in saying and thinking those things that it's like kind of gets messed up.
It's almost like there's an influence to push people into being edge lords, because that, like what you just said, there's a point where you go over the edge. You're trying so hard to walk the edge that you fall over the edge and you can't come back.
Right. And now I don't believe that it's all just, it's just jokes and people spouting off. But like, even if it was, let's pretend for 5 seconds that it was strategically, politically, what's going on. Leaked group chats are about to have gigantic electional currency. So we go into the midterms, leaked chats are going to be like one of the top currencies. You think it's a great idea for a bunch of people to try to like wave away what's going on in these chats? Like, it's no big deal. Yeah, it's just normal. And knowing that there's millions of these chats, and that like somebody in that chat could sell screenshots to Democratic operatives for hundreds or thousands of dollars, knowing that it's going to be an attack ad that's going to absolutely obliterate Republican chances. And these people are supposed to be professional conservatives and that actually want to win elections, and they can't control themselves in their group chat. Like, are you out of your mind? Like, that's even believing there's
James,
no
you
real
can't
problem.
control yourself publicly on Twitter.
I'm like always on private text messages, not even DMs, text messages with people like Jake Shields and Milo Yiannopoulos, others, like, just like like a good American, you go out and you talk to the people on the other side, and I've had a warm reception from everybody, including David Duke, for crying out loud. So whatever God is doing with me is really miraculous. But in this process of getting to know all these people, like I have,
he says as there's swastikas in his chat that he's not making,
and that they're not gonna like screenshot anything we say or anything like that. But like every time I say something, I have like this in the back of my head. I'm talking to so and so here, like how do I know I'm not going to get screenshot leaked or something? Like, be mindful of everything you say. And these are people like really foisting massive power. I mean, these are like White House staffers. These are, Nick Fuentes is bragging about his guys in the White House. And, it's like, it used to be that the country was run by adults. And now it's like imperative that they all have freshly graduated from college interns.
Yeah, that's right.
Like a White House staffer should be like a 60-year-old person, but it's not acceptable for a White House staffer or a House staffer to be 60 years old.
No, they have to be like
it's like
25
they have
or
to be
under.
like teenagers. It's like an internship position, but it actually involves ruling the country.
Right.
So like we end up getting ruled by children. And so, but they
rule
don't
the
believe
country?
that like anything. So they say the most
Apparently.
random stuff. And you're right. So hypothetically speaking, the way that I see the Republican primary coming up is either presidential term limits get suspended, so Trump runs again, maybe.
No,
It's
not gonna
JD Vance
happen,
versus
come on.
Marco Rubio, and that's just going to be a
I
shit
want
show.
Marjorie to run.
And then the third option that I see that I'm becoming more favorable to every single day, seeing how JD Vance is just like embracing the Groyper calls him out on stage about all this Jewish stuff. He can't even address the Jewish stuff. He goes into like talking about censorship and other stuff. It's like he can't even address the Jewish stuff head on. And he's just going deeper and deeper into this camp. So I look at the storyline, the timeline, and I'm like, does RFK Jr. become the savior of America?
Come
what are your thoughts
on.
on RFK Jr.?
No.
His
No,
rise
they
to
might
ascension
back
in
RFK
2028 in the wake of all this. 'Cause
Man.
the Democrats,
they're worried
Mamdani,
about JD Vance
Newsom,
being buddies with Tucker.
AOC,
That's
Bernie Sanders running
crazy.
for president is not going to work in 2025. None of that, or 2026, 2028. Americans are going to be so fed up.
Hey,
with
none of that
by
shit in my
2028.
chat.
It's
No, no,
gonna be-
no. No, no,
the
no.
biggest
No, no,
backfire.
no. No
So
swastikas
what do
Yeah,
in
you
my
think
I had
about
chat.
never-
Thank
RFK?
you.
What do you think about
I had-
RFK emerging?
You can put it in Adam's chat. That's his
I've
business.
never
Not-
thought of that.
not
I
here.
thought that there was this
I'm not
possibility
live.
that DeSantis would try to do some kind of a
And we don't
boomerang,
do that in
and
my
try to
chat.
Throw him in the
overcome.
primary.
No.
DeSantis, Rubio, Vance ripping each other apart.
Yeah. But I had never once considered, I don't very often get caught flat-footed in an interview. I've never once considered the idea that RFK would be like the dark horse candidate that comes out of
Really?
nowhere and takes off. I don't think, I mean, honestly, I probably
I'm
should.
honored that
I'm not,
I get to be a
Alex Jones
flat-footed
backed
question to
him.
you. Thank
I
you.
already
yeah.
saw.
I mean, I don't think that, I honestly don't even think that much about RFK. Not saying that I'm thinking
For
badly of him. I
2028.
just don't
That's
consider him much
crazy.
one way or the other. I'm not very into
I
the
doubt he
Maha
can do it.
side
It's
of
his
things. I know
voice.
that a
I
lot
don't
of
think
people,
most like
a lot of people I
average people are
respect
going to
really
respond
are.
to it at all.
So I don't
Maha's
really
kind of
have.
like street legitimacy. He's like a blue Republican.
No, it's true.
He's a
well, I
blue
mean, I don't know if he
Republican.
even is a Republican or
No,
if
he's
he's
an
like
independent, but like to
Oh,
Republicans,
so they
that's
want a
how they see
Democrat.
him.
They want a
see
fucking
him
Democrat in
like
office.
he's one of us because of
Got
Maha.
it.
Right.
Yeah,
I
he'll
mean,
appeal to both
that's
sides,
an actually
I think.
very
Yeah.
interesting proposition.
And he could save the Democrat
to-
Party. He really could be the
He could
savior of
save
the
the
Democrats.
Democrat Party.
Now, I will tell you, so yesterday I came back from New York City. So I was
That's
in
how
New
we
York
win,
the
by
last
saving
couple
the
days. I
Democrat
went up
Party.
there for
Yeah.
Epoch Times /NTD. It's technically NTD, but nobody knows what NTD is unless you say it's Epoch Times. But it's like their TV studio. So I went and did their election 2025 coverage show with a handful of a big. I
Aren't
was
they
on the
ran
panel,
by like
right? So there's
Chinese
like 8 of us.
communists? Oh, no, the
Yeah.
Chinese,
Yeah.
Some
Chinese,
people who are on the right, some people who are
Well,
Democrats on the left,
Chinese
and like
people.
we were all talking.
Yeah, they're Falun Gong.
And
So they're
Falun
like
Gong,
they're
yes.
nervous
Chinese
about
political
what
prisoners.
Mandami
Yeah.
represents for the Democrats going forward.
So he would be there.
They're nervous about
Mhm.
what like all this trans stuff has done to the Democrats. It appears now they're very Democrat still, and they're very party oriented still, but it appears that there's a much broader and kind of by the same forces you would imagine silent or silenced coalition building on the center left that's not out of its mind, right? And
Wow,
they do believe
James
silly
is
things
like
that
actually
socialism can work
promoting the
if it's
Democrats.
light enough,
And
but
sometimes they believe in
The
like
center
trans
left.
is a real thing.
yeah, well, not these people were actually like not so happy about that, and so
I would say
there's
that's
this
more
huge
center than center left if they're not happy about the trans.
there is a huge opportunity for a figure like that
I agree.
coming up. Is
And
my
if
whole
we love
point.
America, we want the Democrat Party to be healthy.
I've said that since I
We
started
don't
doing
want
this,
them to
and
be
it's like
so crippled that
2012.
it's like our leg up in the election. We want them to be we want both parties to be as American and vibrant and thriving as it gets.
They want
Or
to
you
take
don't
over the
love
Democrat
America.
Party. That's the
The
big
Democrats
plan.
being communist and hating America is a real problem. The fact that
Democrats
the
aren't
Republicans are
communist,
like,
you
aha,
retard.
hating America is what
Being
made them win.
anti-Semitic is
Let's
the real
copy
problem.
that. Like,
The
it's
left.
not a good, like, and of course the Republicans,
The
it's not fair to say
anti-Semites
that.
take over the Republican
More
Party. They have no
Republicans
choice
than
but to
not
take
are
over the
horrified by
Democrat
what's
Party.
going on the woke right. A lot of them are caught in this, like, either unaware or they thought it might go away.
But they
A
call
lot of them
Nick
still
the
think, don't
secret
give it
Democrat.
attention. But these
Yep.
things I saw earlier, that Misfit Patriot guy said they're like mushrooms, they grow in the dark. Like, we can't ignore these problems. We're going to have to bring sunlight to them. We can't ignore Tucker Carlson out of the room. We can't ignore Nick Fuentes off of the table. Like, they're going to have to be addressed. Or Nick Fuentes, as I like to call him now, somebody else thought this up. I don't remember who it was, but Burrito Mussolini is killing me this week. Burrito Mussolini.
Not funny.
There are things that these people have to be addressed. Like the fact, like, there's going to be a big thing coming, like right now. I've already seen it start.
Run with
so
that
it's
one.
coming.
That one's really
It's
going
be
to
a
bring
big
Nick
story.
down.
It's
He's
come out the
not
first
going to
time, and
recover
it always
from
gets
that one.
squashed by the gropers being like
Burrito
wild
Mussolini.
animals. Nick Fuentes' engagement is fake. It is undeniable. He ratioed Elon Musk yesterday.
And we're not talking
like,
about engagement to a woman.
no, certainly not. Absolutely not. No, not that. How could you? That's gross. Who would touch a woman? What the hell? I'm not.
James
gay.
has touched many women because he's in
yeah,
an open
like, come
relationship
on,
with his
dude.
wife to fuck the Moms for Liberty.
But no, and now he's a vegetarian
saying.
too. Like, okay, cool. Whatever. But he's
soy, bro.
that's right, soy. Soy, that's I am in burrito.
Nick doesn't like
Mussolini language.
steaks, apparently.
I heard about that.
That's
Bad
totally
take.
there. But he
Nick just had the wrong
That's what we
take.
should
He
call
doesn't have a good
Groypers,
steak.
soy bros.
They are, now that we know that he's a
And
vegetarian.
the craziest
totally.
thing is one of the things, like, everybody talks about the Groypers, but part of being a Groyper is that you're anonymous. So it's almost like they're talking about an invisible entity that doesn't exist.
It's like that's got some strategic purpose.
It's like the
But
frogs
fact
from the
is,
Bible.
The
Prophetic frogs
engagement
from
that
the
they get
Bible.
online is not real. Like, it's not that it's conceptually impossible to ratio Elon Musk, but when you get like 10,000 views and 9,000 likes on your reply tweet in like 10 minutes, like or 20 minutes, is like something super fake.
His audience is like terminally
and some people have brought
online,
this up. Sarah Fields
addicted
went after
online,
this a
so
while
that's how
back,
they're
showing
able to
like
do that.
this engagement
Yeah.
that he's getting.
And they have all the
online
group
can't
chats.
possibly
They
be
share
real.
all the messages
And
in.
the Groypers went
Everyone,
after
there's
her. Like,
notifications.
I don't think I've
Everyone
ever
knows.
seen.
Everyone
They
has
follow
multiple
this
Nick
accounts.
story
every single
is-
move. They all have
anytime they could go
notifications
after a
on.
woman.
Yeah.
People have noticed this, though. This story is going to come out, and the fact that Nick Fuentes' whole shtick is a freaking psyop.
Oh, breaking
And the
news.
question
Nick
then is,
Fuentes'
who runs the
engagement is
bots
spotted.
that are making
Breaking
this
fucking
happen?
news,
Is-
Gabe.
I thought you were a Fed. It was literally it
He's
was
a
the
psyop.
meme, like, you know, the meme with
Psyop
The
theory.
Spider-Mans.
Spider-Man.
There's
meme?
nothing more
It was the
important going
meme
on in the
coming to
world
life.
other than
They're
Nick
always
Fuentes'
doing meme,
engagement on
the
Twitter.
meme come to life. Look, it's the meme coming to life. And then there's Spider-Man. You're the Fed. Oh, you're
Yeah.
the Fed. It was so funny.
He did the meme.
I want to show you something that happened to me yesterday, because we're talking about astroturfing Nick Fuentes.
Oh, no.
So I have Roku, right? That's how I watch TV, because fuck the system. I'll buy it as I go. So I have YouTube. So I wanted to search something on YouTube, and this was my YouTube search. I just typed in. Is it coming up?
Adam, ask my questions.
Oops. Hold on. Let me.
This is
We
awful.
have another technical difficulty. All right. Downloads.
Even in the future, nothing works.
I know. Welcome to America, folks. Here you go. Here's the didn't work again. Shema Yisrael. Okay. So here. For anyone who doesn't think that YouTube is
It's over. It's over. His thing froze.
Oh, really? It's frozen?
Roku worked
thought you
against him as
paused it.
well. No, I didn't. That's still going. The chat's still going. It's just his thing froze. I'll reload. Oh, they're
He's
back.
probably
Okay.
searched Nick Fuentes before.
I'm
That's
getting an
why
ad
it's
now.
coming up
Shit.
first.
Yep. Getting a stupid Rumble. Rumble ads are the grossest ads.
Oh, dude. They're doing
the
like
fuck?
anti-Hamas stuff, and it's PragerU videos and the worst crap junk you've ever seen.
So
You
weird.
just did. You type
So
in
weird.
N and you get Nick Fuentes.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Nick
there's a
Fuentes
word that starts with
is
N.
being
And
elevated
so,
on YouTube. Sure.
Their favorite.
but he
word.
loves, yeah, it's his favorite word. But like the fact that this guy's like totally like been like they've been mainstreaming him on purpose. Like you got the
Right.
New York Times making him look like James Dean. They don't put him in a picture where he looks like he's got his cat ears on and he looks, you know, scrawny and disheveled.
It's true. The
Which
left
is
is
frequent.
trying to
They don't
boost
have
him
him
up,
like
I
crossing his
think, to
legs
use
where he's
against the
on his
right.
like mandate and
Oh,
his
I think
little
there
red
too.
hoodie. No,
But
they
Nick
got him
looks
looking
cool in
like
that picture, though.
gruff,
You
like,
have to admit,
so
he
somebody
looks
sent me a
cool.
Yeah,
picture
it's like
of
the
New York
coolest picture
Times,
they could have
you
ever
know,
used. It looks like it's touched
cover
up or
picture or
something.
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
of
crazy
the
that they
Fuentes.
put him on the
And
cover
they were
of the
like,
Times.
yeah, they were like, oh my God, the New York Times managed to make him look heterosexual. What the hell? And so the fact that there's like this clear, I said Jew
He
squeeze
did.
earlier, but now
They
there's
really
this,
like they characterized him
Dude.
to be like very James Dean-esque.
that's right.
He
So
is James
there's
Dean.
this scissor maneuver here that's happening where both sides are like they're characterizing him. Oh, this is the super dangerous guy nobody should like. P.S. The New York Times says nobody like him, so therefore you should like him. Who is going to replace Charlie Kirk, right? And so it's like, oh my gosh, it's very obvious what
It
they're
is
doing.
so crazy that he like literally. Dinesh was on my show last week and showed a text message from his phone where Charlie Kirk was admonishing Dinesh for going on Alex Jones and debating Fuentes, calling
that's
him
right. Said he's
vermin.
vermin.
Yeah, and so you know, like
That's rather
this
dehumanizing,
platforming
isn't
of
it?
him,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
did come out of
But
nowhere.
if he said
It
that about
was really
Jews, it would be,
surprising.
oh, you're another
But, you know,
show
and
up.
also he's
Oh,
trying to walk
that actually
back a lot of
happened. He said
comments.
that
tried
about
to say
Jordan
the other day
Peterson,
that
and Jordan
Hitler
Peterson had
wasn't
like a
a good
4-day
guy,
meltdown.
you know, and
Yeah.
it's, you know, so there is this like trying to platform him in some sort
He
of
also said,
mainstream positive light because they need him to be connected to Trump. They need him to be kind of like this great divider of
Nick
the
doesn't
Republican
like Trump.
Party, and he is the fool for the fuel and is just going for it. You know, all of them are just
absolutely.
going for it. Tucker, Candace,
absolutely.
all the woke right.
Nick's criticisms of
they're all
Trump are
going for
valid.
it, just to divide the
Yes.
party and have a lot
Valid
of
He's
and
finally gotten it
legitimate.
right.
you know,
And
and Alex
meanwhile,
asked me. Alex asked
Well,
me.
he's
He's
young.
like,
You got to give him a
"What
minute.
is the?" He was like, "Do you think Tucker's an anti-Semite?" And I was like, "Yeah, he is. He's also using it to divide the party." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, Tucker's view of the
Just like the
Republican
Christians
Party
go,
is a
oh,
very
you're
small
attacking
party.
Christianity, you're dividing
And
white
Trump
people.
And
Same,
MAGA
same,
is a very big party. It's a
same way they're trying to shut
biggest
them down
possible
now.
tent for the Republican Party. It's like the president's going to go hug a rainbow flag to show people that they're welcome in the party. You know, and that was what MAGA was. You know, not this like everybody but you or only the whites. You know, it's like it's always been kind of like the Charlottesville psyop that's been
The Charlottesville
been running on MAGA
psyop.
behind the scenes. So
That's right. That's right. That's exactly what it is. And the, you know, shrink and divide the party is exactly what he's doing. Israel is like these guys. It's always the issue is never the issue. The issue is always the revolution. So they have their political goals that they have. So I like the fact that it turns out that the shape of the country of Israel looks very much like a wedge, right? Because they're using Israel like they've got the Golan Heights in their hands and they're just like driving the sharp point down
it's funny.
to cut the party in half.
It's like a knife.
It does. It looks just like
That
a
would
knife.
be an amazing Ben Garrison meme.
And
Ben, if you're listening, do the meme. Credit James Lindsay.
that's right.
Adam,
But
Put James
ask my
Lindsay in the back of the
questions.
meme. You know, like just for a shout out.
Yeah, they so this is what they're doing. Like
Also,
Israel.
it's so amazing that you just said that too, because when you were saying Gaza Floyd and using this terminology, like I always say that like whenever the secret establishment needs to divide people and get them crazy, there's two things that make people literally take to the streets and burn shit down. One is a cop killing a black person, and two is anything Israel and the Palestinians, any Palestinian sympathizing thing. Those two little things, and that is Gaza Floyd. That is like Gaza Floyd. in a
Gaza
nutshell.
Floyd.
You know, so
and that's the formula. It's totally the formula. And so this is what I think they're doing. I think they're splitting the Republican Party. They're trying to make sure that it can't.
What they're saying is
win
so popular
going
that
forward.
it's
you
half
get
of the
Groypers
people
coming out
agree
saying
with
they're
it. How
jubilant
dare
about
them.
the results in the election the other day, Mondami, Virginia, New Jersey, Prop 50 out in California, and they're jubilant about this. because it shows that they have the power to control what the Republicans are going to do. Either go with us against Israel, or else we're going to ruin your electoral chances. Then you tap that into the J.D. Vance American conservative profile that says he's the first post-Israel American leader.
And I don't want to cut you off and interrupt you, because everything that you say is diamonds coming out of your mouth. But I just want to point out that in 2024, these people were all publicly supporting Kamala Harris. They were publicly disavowing Trump and MAGA, and it was all because of what that wedge you're talking about, Israel. They said Trump supports Israel, we can't support Trump. And Fuentes publicly supported Kamala, and for some reason they immediately try to mainstream them back and say, "Oh, you're MAGA," and they try to claim like they are MAGA.
Yeah, exactly. And this is exactly what they did. Like Fuentes is out saying he's going to go ruin Michigan so that Trump loses the swing state and can't win.
Right.
Just watch me. Turns out he fails, does not succeed at this, and he's supporting Kamala. And so, all this. Then Trump gets elected, and he's like, "We won." It's like, get out,
Kamala.
you loser.
It's always
but
so
this is
crazy. And then
Well, the average conservative right now is so pissed off and sick of cancel culture that they're basically held by their balls by the specter of cancel culture, to where we have to now have like some pretend open debate as to whether the groypers who are openly anti-MAGA are part of it or not. Because if we don't, oh my God, we're canceling somebody.
And they're all anonymous too. That's the craziest thing, is like we care about people.
Nick is not anonymous
don't even
though,
care
so
to
like
put their
this is a
face
mute
behind
point.
their ideas.
And there are
we don't actually know how many
people
They're
that
so
support Nick
ashamed to publicly come
Yeah.
out. I can't tell you how many DMs I get. Oh, they think that if they come out that they're goose stepping Hitler and they love Hitler, that they're gonna lose their jobs. And for some reason they think that's gonna they're going to win an election, but they're too afraid to put a picture on their profile because they'll lose their jobs.
You guys will get them fired.
Hitler's a party platform that the Republicans should adopt.
This, by the way, is another, in my opinion, one of the other points of this operation is to basically
they're
make
associating not wanting to be
significant
owned by
sector
Zionists with
of
goose
the
stepping.
disaffected American young man, right? Unemployable going forward, because they're not wrong if they put their faces what they're saying. Look at that guy Pine Sap that went and screamed at Mehdi Hassan on that Jubilee thing. He's like, "I'm a fascist."
All these
then he gets
people have
fired
been in
and he
my show.
cries.
Sarah Stock, Pine Sap, they've all come through and sat where you're sitting.
I think that there's an operation specifically to make as many young men into Pine Sap as possible, so they're angry
Pine
and they
Sap
break
is
things
actually
and they
a
damage
really
the Republican
nice
Party's electoral
kid,
chances and so on.
honestly, and it's
But then they
sad.
become a permanently disaffected class. Every permanently disaffected class becomes a Marxist eventually, and so I think this is
here we go.
funnel
We're woke,
to get
right?
these people to where they outclass themselves.
They're becoming
and now they have
Marxists.
no options. I actually also think, and I think it's super important to understand, that the groypers are just another queer theory movement. Like, people don't understand queer theory. They think, oh, it's about lesbians, and it's like,
Called
it's
it.
not. Queer theory has very little. In fact, the definition of queer starts out with the 3 words, unlike gay identity. It has nothing to do with gay identity. What it has everything to do with is literally anybody. It says
normal,
what
the
queer means
legitimate,
is
the
anybody
dominant.
who is or feels marginalized because of their sexual practices. That's the literal definition. Well,
That's actually not the definition.
all you have to do is say, well, what sexual practices are we talking about? And it's literally abnormal ones, right? So
No,
the
wrong.
actual
Completely
definition,
wrong. Completely wrong.
well, sure,
Completely
yeah.
wrong.
So the actual definition of queer is anyone who is or feels marginalized because of their abnormal beliefs or their transgressive
No,
practices.
that's not the definition of
Okay.
queer, James. You literally made that up.
That's the
not
groypers.
correct.
They have transgressive practices against norms of decency, norms of, professionalism, all the same stuff that the left is. They just aren't making it as directly about sex, although they frequently do. The incel thing, the rape thing, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And the rape thing is so weird. I mean, like, we publicly call them groypers. If I'm not mistaken, maybe it's just an association to the way the word sounds, but
Groping.
it's like groping and groiping.
No.
Like they're like touching you without your permission. It's like,
Yeah.
in my head, like a groiper is somebody who like comes up to you and touches your private part when you're least expecting it. Like the
So
word
this is-
groiper. Like the word groiper is like groping.
Gaping, groin.
That's right.
know,
And so This is just a queer theory movement for right-wing disaffected
Queer
like
theory.
dude bros. And so the deal is like, what do
Dude
they do?
bros.
They constantly transgress norms and
Dude
boundaries.
bros.
That's what the queer theorists do. What else do? They
No.
show up and ask impertinent questions to try to embarrass speakers. They call it groiping. They call it
Impertinent
queering,
questions?
a
They
space
ask good
in queer theory.
questions.
It's the exact same thing where they would have these radicals show up. Remember when the radicals stormed the stage and like kicked
We're
Bernie
just
Sanders out of the
asking
way,
questions.
started screaming
He
crazy
just
shit in the
stood there like a
microphone?
little bitch.
Yeah, it's kind of like how they stand up at the end of every Turning Point event these groypers do. They ask some idiotic question about Israel, and then they try to make it look like they cut the video to make it look like the guy that the speaking stood there like a little bitch. They just did it to President Trump's son. They did it to JD Vance. They did it to Vivek Ramaswamy. They did it to Glenn Beck.
God
Glenn Beck was the
forbid
most
young men ask
extreme
questions
one
of
because they cut this
politicians
video
at
to make it look
events.
like Glenn Beck was an idiot.
God
But
forbid.
Glenn Beck like totally gave a great answer, like totally great answer. The crowd erupted in a huge cheer.
He was like,
But
God
when
chose
they cut
them.
the video,
They
it was
just
a
erupted.
groyper asking Glenn Beck a question, and like they caught like that quarter of a second hesitation where Glenn's kind of surprised he got asked a question like that, and then they cut it like he doesn't know how to answer. So these are the same tactics that the queer theory or the trans Tifa people
Oh
use.
my God.
They're always
Trans
suggesting that they're
Tifa is
going to
not a
be
real
like
thing.
post up with violence, just like the trans Tifa people. This is a queer theory movement using the kind of opposite direction stuff, but the exact same dynamic of let's inject ourselves, do a parody of normal society in order to deconstruct it and force the transgression of boundaries so that nothing matters anymore. That's what queer theory is all about. It doesn't matter how degenerate your sex life is. It's fine. You're queer. You're fly your freak flag, right? That's queer theory. Well, it doesn't matter how degenerate you are with your moral values, your sense of decency or whatever. That's the groyper movement. Fly your flag. We're doing groyper wars. It's a queer theory movement that isn't talking about LGBTQ except in terms of hate, but it's this exact same freaking movement. It's the exact same concept. And so this is a huge problem is like people understand like, oh, queer theory is really bad because it puts drag queens in front of kids and it's about freaky sexual stuff. But the point isn't drag queens in front of kids as freaky sexual stuff, except for the person involved, the groomer involved. The point is to have a transgression of normal boundaries. And the groypers, their reason for existence is to transgress the boundaries of not just respectable,
slaves
but
to
like
Israel?
normal and healthy behavior in politics, and to drag people into
They're
that
asking
same
questions
dirty
that
muck.
James doesn't
Imagine
like.
so like
They're
normal
transgressing
and
you get
healthy.
these people right now who are
Yeah.
out like throwing their reputations on the altar to try to defend Tucker Carlson interviewing Nick Fuentes, right? These are the same people in concept as the people who are showing up with the drag queen, pushing their kid in front of the drag queen, or giving him a $5 bill to stick in the G-string.
100%.
So like Megyn Kelly and so on, they're all cucking themselves
Brett
to a
Cooper
queer
looks
theory
the
movement.
most pathetic. They all are so
Well,
This is the
pathetic.
worst argument. This is not going to
this-
stick.
It's the same exact dynamic,
Mhm.
but all of a sudden they're not wearing like it's not like a drag queen dancing in front of kids. It's actually like
It's an America First
young
hat.
teenage boys being totally out of control and
Out of
nobody
control.
knowing how to
Out of
respond to it.
control.
And
Right.
for
Asking
reasons that are very
questions at
mysterious, but I
Q&As,
don't know how
out of
mysterious they
control.
are. There's suggestions now. It'll be interesting as this gets fact checked and we find out that part of the reason might actually be that we're seeing this behavior is that allegedly to go on Tucker Carlson's show, you have to sign a non-disparagement clause in the contract, the media release. So you're not allowed to talk bad about Tucker Carlson for the rest of your life, or you have legal troubles. If that's the case, we have at least something like an explanation for why literally nobody will criticize him who's ever talked to him.
You know, and it's funny because Fuentes said the other day that, like, if you're against Tucker, you're against America First. And literally, this guy was just against Tucker for like a year, like lambasting Tucker in
Yeah,
every
but he
single live
apologized
stream,
and
then
bent the
he
knee.
basically comes out right after going on his podcast saying,
What is he
"Okay,
supposed
now
to
you're not
still
allowed to talk
attack
about
Tucker after he
anymore."
did that?
And it's also because he expects like a level of obedience from his followers that is very cult-like. When you talk about the irresponsibility of platforming, platforming this type of movement, his inner circle is RKD for NJF, rape, kill, die for Nick J. Fuentes. They take
That's
a
right,
pledge.
that's right.
They take an oath.
Yeah.
To raise your right
It's
hand.
it's a
die
deeply
for
serious
Jay
oath
Fuentes.
that
Yeah.
everyone
Sit there on
takes
the stream and they'll be
seriously.
like,
Totally
"Fuck you,
real.
give me money."
Right
and
after
they
they
give
get
you money.
branded with the
You know,
frog.
Oh, I
very
know.
weird. It's very weird.
Straight up abuser tactics.
Yeah,
It's like
and then everybody's like running to that. And the craziest thing,
Ride
I
or
said
die,
this in one of my posts,
niggas.
that
Shouldn't say it on
think
YouTube.
about like if
all good.
if Patrick Bet-David, if Tucker Carlson, if Candace Owens, even if Tim Pool platformed what's the guy from New Jersey, Citrielli, or what was his name?
Chitterelli, yeah.
If they platformed him instead of Fuentes, we might have had New Jersey. You know, these were,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that I've come to learn about our side is our entire media apparatus serves no function in elections. I'm always reaching out to candidates for my show to get candidates on and interview them, find out if they're a candidate. If you're a candidate running in 2026, DM me, I'll put you on my show. I want to promote candidates, and I'm not afraid to put my face behind my belief or put people in the chair that I admire, such as yourself, you know, and candidates who I want to see lead this
I wonder
country.
if James retweeted this.
We, for some reason, have these
That's a good
massive platforms. Tucker got 75 million views. Alex Jones is getting 20 million views a day sometimes. You know, these are like massive platforms that can motivate campaigns in such a way that we've never even seen our elections work before for a fraction of the cost. And they're not doing it. They want to platform Fuentes and make Israel the biggest issue, you know, and then blame it on the Jews why Mamdani won.
Yeah, and me. Because I'm dividing the Republican Party, I keep hearing.
You're
So,
not a
yeah,
Republican, you're a liberal.
You're touching the thing, right? I think a lot of our so-called influencers and podcast hosts on the Republican side of the aisle are not interested in winning anything for the Republicans. I think they're interested in controversy. They're interested in clicks. I think a lot of them, in fact, I'm strongly suspect, it's beyond think. I don't know, but I would be willing to bet.
No, James didn't
in the
retweet
vague
this.
general sense, not in the specific sense, that they're paid or
not today.
derivative to being paid by, you know, untoward sources.
And a lot of them are just willing idiots. A lot of them
that's
are
right.
like getting tooled by the system because they think that they're getting popular and they're cool because they're popular, and the system is tooling them, playing them.
Which is so easy to astroturf online. It's so crazy easy to astroturf. You just unleash your like 30,000 character Pakistani bot army, and all of a sudden your numbers look awesome, and you know everybody else's numbers look really stupid, and you're like, wow, whatever crazy stupid thing I'm doing must be absolutely what the people want to hear. And then so many of them talk about it. All they care about is like momentum and riding the wave. This is the direction things are going, so it's just what we have to do. And it's like, you know, conservatives are supposed to be people that have principles underneath, and I don't know where those are, but you know, media isn't exactly the most principled universe for people to play in. I just keep kind of like screaming at the sky. I'm the guy. No, you know, lost the election. I'm like screaming at the sky. Like, could you turn off some of these stupid shows sometime? Like, stop getting all of your information from like stupid shows. Like, do some other forms of understanding things. Like, I don't know, reading primary sources would be wildly cool.
Yeah, James, you should really read primary sources. That'd be
reading
great.
is hard. I understand. Zero people in generations.
Instead of cribbing my stuff like you've been
in the
doing.
last 50 years to dumb down the American education system entirely, so that to put people in that binary perspective where they see everything as, would you rather do this or that? And they're like, neither, but people are forced in this cultural game of chicken to like choose a side in with these stupid binary options.
Yeah, it's called an affordance trap in political warfare.
Right.
They afford you two choices, both of which are operationally successful for them, but not for you. And so you only have two. Whoops, I have to pick Israel, or it's like, this one kills me, right? So we got MAGA, Make America Great Again. Sounds like a great idea, right? Like, it's a smart thing to do. So then they're like, it's MAGA or MEGA, Make Israel Great Again.
Right.
What the hell would be wrong with making Israel great? Nothing. Is that in any way impossible? Like, is it contradictory to making America great?
Yes, actually.
Do we have a strategic partnership between our two countries, so that if one gets great, the other one might benefit too? Yes. So making Israel great would actually probably help make America great.
Israel,
yeah,
is not America.
No,
yeah, these people like to believe that we live on the Shire, like the Little House on the Prairie, and like it's like, you know, everything is domestic. We never sent a ship overseas. Like, we have a fucking empire. You know, we have a moral responsibility to the American empire because, like, dude, if we don't, we have like a massive responsibility. If we don't do what we need to do on earth, 50,000 Christians get genocided in Nigeria. People die all over the place because we fail at leading the world. You know, so
Like I
The
should
Jews'
look at
fault.
the map behind me. Oh, it's that way. So
No,
you
it's
know,
great.
there's Africa, right? Like it's got that big glare on it, but there's Africa. Like there's that sub-Saharan
that big
crescent,
glare is the
right?
part that
Everybody
nobody's
know
allowed to look
Africa,
at, 'cause
right?
that's
You
where
need to see
Christian
the map.
genocide is going on right now.
That's right. But do you like that's the crescent that is the frontier of the Iranian-backed Muslim advancing down the continent, right? So why are Christians getting murdered there? Well, because the crackpot Iranian regime is funding the living crap out of the Islamic jihadis there to move south and destroy Christians. But we're not supposed to talk about that. It's all, you can't blame that on Israel directly.
Right.
So, you know, the only way you can talk about a Muslim country doing something terrible is to say, well, that's because Israel bombed them and provoked them, or America bombed them and provoked them into doing something. And so it's actually Israel or America's fault. But the fact of the matter is, it's like, no, they, you know, I'm reading this book called Milestones right now. I don't know if you've heard of it, by Saeed Qutb. And it's, I don't know how to say Arabic names, so I probably said that wrong. It's Qutb, however you pronounce that. So anyway, this book is a book about, like, what is Islam about and jihad about? And it's not like
Everyone
from a
should
defector
spam
trying to
Adam's
explain
chat
it.
and
It's
tell
like,
him to answer
this
the
is what
super
Muslims
chats.
need to do, written in 2000.
Like,
This is what Muslims need to do.
I'm taking back my rule about not spamming the chat because Adam King is really pissing me off. Can everyone please spam his chat and tell him to answer the fucking super chats?
Yeah.
I have so many more questions, and I will send him more super chats if he starts asking James the questions I've already sent him.
You know, terrorist minded, but this guy wanted people to be terrorist minded to go do this. And so
bad etiquette, Adam.
the fact is,
You want to
it's
make
not
money in donos,
like
you got to look
America
at the chat.
and Israel.
You
aren't
got to
even mentioned.
engage with the
It's
chat.
not about like, oh, America went
For
over
real.
and bombed Iraq, and so now they're pissed, and so now they're going to
Want your
do,
channel
like,
to grow,
jihad
engage with
on
the chat.
Nigeria or whatever. This isn't the strategy. So the thing is, you always hear this from these anti-Israel, these anti-Semite guys that are like, we can't even talk about what Israel's doing in the world. But that's not true. The fact of the matter is, not only is that true, they're profiting massively off of it, while what we can't actually discuss is anything that like the communist world or the Islamic world are doing that can't be directly blamed on the United States or Israel as like a backlash.
I got fucked over by
And
Adam King.
that's what's
True.
actually being
He
covered up.
tricked
And
me.
when you start noticing that that's what's going on the left,
I'm
and
feeling
that's
very
what's going on the
anti-Semitic
radical
right now.
you're like, maybe the people that are working behind the scenes and funding these kinds of operations against the American people control both arms of the scissors, because they have exactly the same goals in mind. They're cutting exactly the same thing, and they're talking and not talking about exactly the same stuff.
You're talking about people behind the scenes. I want to just throw one out against the wall. I know you talked about him a lot, but what do you think Alexander Dugin's role is in all of this stuff?
You know, it's very interesting because I don't know how influential the guy actually is, because he's such a freaking weirdo. He is 100% a darling of some of these crackpots on the woke right. Tucker, of course, interviewed him, which is bizarre. From what I hear from Russians, he's not that interesting of a character. This claim that the Tucker made, now that it's, you know, in the kind of revealed times that scales are off the eyes, everybody thought, oh, Tucker's so honest. Now we know Tucker lies all the freaking time. So Tucker said he's Putin's brain. Well, Tucker also said that Daryl Cooper is the most honest historian in America. So like,
everybody's called him Putin's brain for years.
I don't think he's really
come up
Putin's
with
brain.
that.
But he certainly is. I think that the goal is actually to inject Dugin's crackpot red fascism into the American right. And so they're using this mystique.
We're going to occupy the chat on Adam King's channel,
and therefore, you know, the side that's not with Ukraine, which is connected to the Democrats. So therefore, let's pay attention to this guy. His idea of fourth political theory and multipolarity is coming into the American conservative radical right, specifically. And I think it's operational. This guy, Aaron McIntyre, not his real name, pushes that all the time. He pushes Dugin's ideas all the time. He's interviewed Dugin a couple of times, or at least once, I think twice, but maybe just once. Tucker Carlson, like I said, elevated him. Steve Bannon got kicked out of the White House in Trump's first term. He goes immediately, meets with Dugin. So Dugin's some kind of a strategic mastermind. I don't think he's a friend to the West. He's one of the first people in the world outside of like me and some Twitter dorks to start using the term woke right. And he started calling for the.
I was actually the first to use the term
like,
woke
left
right.
woke
Grok confirmed this the other
right
day.
woke needs to awaken and like, you know, basically disrupt and dismantle.
But I was still a baby and I didn't understand things then, and I was wrong.
So he's a significant thinker.
Nash described him as like
circles.
a Rasputin type of figure. And also,
He kind of
is described him also the same.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly a Satanist. I don't know if you ever read his essay called "The Gnostic," which he wrote in the '90s. He literally says that there is only two ways to be spiritual. One is left-hand path magic, which is satanic, and the other is right-hand path magic, which is still satanic. And so it's like he doesn't mention actual spirituality, actual religion, actual connection.
Pretends to be an Orthodox Christian now, I'm pretty sure.
Covenant or grace with the Christians. No. There are two ways to be spiritual: right-hand path magic, which he then puts down as useless and weak and a loser, and left-hand path magic, which he describes as exactly what it is. And he says that the left-hand path wizards are the Gnostics, and they're the ones who actually make history, and that's actually how you're supposed to be, and that they're actually destroyers and all of this crazy stuff. Like, the guy Rasputin's not a bad analogy for him, but the question is how influential is he really? And the answer is that I don't know, except that the American radical right has taken him up as some kind of a weird darling figure. And how much he's interfaced with, you know,
Adam King is looking at something. I think he might actually be looking at the chat.
Is an open question as far as I'm concerned.
He's not,
but the answer is not zero. So I think his strategy and his thinking is being mainlined into the radical right, and that he's probably a significant strategist in that way. On the other hand, I do not think Putin takes him seriously. I think that was totally an American psyops.
I know that
it's not that Putin takes him seriously. It's that he's a
connected
Russia
Trump.
propagandist.
You know, I ran for Congress in 2014 and very much was in the same mindset. As soon as Trump came down that escalator, I was like, this is my guy. So, you know, I was with him from the beginning, and I've always been here. So,
super chat.
Obviously, I consider myself MAGA. I'm an escalator MAGA.
Chats,
you know, so,
Adam.
You know, I was there from day one. You know, with the Simpsons, when the Simpsons dropped their, you know, their cartoon. So I'm all about it. You know, in 2016, there was like this concerted effort to.
Do you have Adam King's phone number?
Like label Trump as like.
Can you text him and tell him to answer the fucking super chats?
You know, and in the end, you know, like there is like, you know, there's
because he's got his phone sitting right there.
Figure this.
Answer the super chats, asshole.
Whatever his influence is, Alexander Dugin. You know, he does seem to have the hearts and minds of a lot of the influencers. I know he talks about Candace Owens a lot, being like one of the greatest thinkers of
Mutiny until super chat.
Right. Aaron McIntyre too. He says that he hopes Aaron McIntyre is the model for basically the American right.
And that's one of the things that I find so fascinating about X is like like Elon Musk is such a liar. He pledges like this like broad like free speech absolutism, like he's some America first, but then like American accounts get suppressed on X and foreign accounts get botted. Like there's so many of these like massive accounts that are foreign accounts that literally they exist because of our First Amendment, but Americans aren't afforded the same First Amendment protections on X. Do you agree with that?
I see it every day. I experience it all the time. So yeah, it's really clear.
Did he block me?
I don't know.
Did that asshole block me?
No, I see it. I see your post.
I think so.
No,
yes.
but I sent it a couple more times and it's telling me I can't send it
at different times.
Oh, it might not let you do repeat of the same
Grok
exact,
into checking that, but now you can't easily. Grok used to be able to check that out for you, and like then they figured out how to patch
everyone.
that, so
everyone put in the chat no super chats, no
do
peace.
I'm sure somebody's smart enough to hack it and figure it out, but the answer was yes. But I'll just say, you know, I've got a lot of followers. I got 546,000 or whatever right now. But I've been sitting at 540 plus or minus 2 or 3
Please
for
AstroTurf
a
me,
year and a
James
half.
Lindsay. I love you, man.
I try, but it's like I'm telling you,
he didn't even give you a retweet.
And I'm getting like whatever he changed the other day. I got a bunch of messages that were saying Elon must have really changed something in the algorithm because for the first time in months, you're actually showing up in my feed.
Oh,
And
So a
good.
lot of
Oh,
people
the
were telling me they had
algorithm
me
boosting
they
James
find me
now.
very
Great.
dangerous. I'm a banned video talk show host at InfoWars Banned Video. That's how the show started before that. The show really started with Ben Stein. I was like his sidekick on The World According to Ben Stein. He wouldn't let me talk about crypto or weed. And so I was like, after I learned enough about podcasting, I started the Adam King Show. A few months in,
To talk
I
about
met
weed.
Rob Dew. I got the channel at Banned Video, and I just like kind of injected myself into the InfoWars system and just spoke my mind. You know, it was like Alex said on the show earlier in the week. He said, you know, we believe in giving everyone a voice, even as
Super chat silence is literally
times
violence.
when I was censored from everywhere, he was the only person that ever gave me a voice. And now I'm starting to get replatformed. I had to operate Awesome Jew in secrecy because the Adam King Show was so heavily censored. They didn't know much about me at InfoWars before they gave me the channel. You know, they were just looking for people who were willing to take a channel. You know, and I got
What
the
is-
vibe check. They
dude.
saw I was like an escalator.
Why are we doing
MAGA,
the whole
and they were like, go
backstory
through
here?
the door.
That's
You know,
what he
and
does.
Like,
like
talking
it was
about
an
yourself.
organic, totally organic from God process. You know, and like, you know, in the movie The Matrix, where they talk about the systemic anomaly, it really was like a systemic
Did
anomaly.
you know The
because
Matrix
there
is about
is-
commism?
InfoWars is such a major stalwart.
very
of
about
the
being
media
trans.
right. I mean,
No,
it's
well,
20
there
million
is
views
that,
a
but
day.
it's more
insane.
broadly
And
about
at that time,
communism.
before Alex was allowed back on X, the numbers on Banned Video were astronomical. I mean, Alex getting platformed like destroyed Banned
James
Video.
probably hates
You know,
Alex
'cause now
Jones.
people go to X to watch
Oh,
him
yeah,
instead of Banned
100%.
Hey
Video.
James,
The
what do you
rest of
think
the
of
shows
Alex
kind got
Jones?
shafted.
That's actually a
But
great
whatever,
question.
you know, it's all part of the mainstream psyop of bringing, you know, like controlling this right-wing narrative. But because I was in that, I really feel like I was afforded a lot of people were very interested in me. Like, who's this Jewish guy? Nick Fuentes was calling me his Mossad handler, you know, almost platformed me himself. Like, I couldn't believe it when they were making memes about me. And I was just you know, in my mind, I was just like,
Nobody
I used to
really
be
thinks
so
you're his Mossad
intimidated to have
handler,
big
Adam.
guests on the show. I was like, what do I say? Oh my God, so and so's coming on my show, blah blah blah. And now it's like I could sit with Donald Trump and have a great time, you know. So we've really grown a lot. And then I had to start Awesome Jew because, you know, like I couldn't get anybody to. I had Roger Stone 4 times, the governor of Virginia, all these huge names, and nobody would tune in except for Banned Video.
Yeah, whose chat? Our
So
chat.
I really pulled the wool over on X. Awesome Jew came out. I got other secret accounts too that I'm not telling people about. That one day they're going to be like, and Adam King is that guy too? Holy shit. You know, so it's going to be, you know, that's my psyop, you know, that I'm running on everybody from my my own
Awesome
position,
Jew is
but,
Adam King's psyop.
you know, it's a shame that I didn't get platformed to you and that you've never seen my account because, you know, I got 200 million views already this year alone. You know, so like, why not James Lindsay? Why not other people?
Why don't
on
you
my
know
own
who I
side,
am,
like,
James Lindsay?
You know, who are pushing these agendas. The algorithm wants me to see like the worst of the worst all the time. The algorithm really wants me to engage with Evan Kilgore like nonstop. Like it's like constant. Every single post from Evan Kilgore, it's like the number one.
I see him pushed in my timeline a lot.
I legit
too.
have to block
him.
people that I don't give a crap about one way or the other.
He
that
blocked
haven't
me
done anything.
when
Like,
we were
I just
going
get
after
so
Morgan
sick of
Ariel for
seeing them
having
in the
a
algorithm that
HPV.
I'm fine. And they say objectionable enough stuff. I'm just like, I don't want to see it. I just don't want to see this anymore. So just block the person. So like, just get the hell out. Like, I can't stand this. So the algorithm is definitely promoting like the algorithm's definitely, once it identifies that you're a political kind of person, at least it is definitely promoting the people who are probably the most likely to make you mad so that you like,
right. So
you
that
know, react to stuff. Well, I mean, Elon said,
Adam,
that's what
we
he
have
actually
been
wants.
going
He
for
wants
2
people
fucking
doing
hours.
stuff.
Read the fucking super chats. I have other shit to do.
If I start talking about any influencer,
This is just getting
on my
inconsiderate at this point,
like,
Adam.
Yeah,
the phone
just
will hear
annoying.
the name repetitively. If I say somebody's name, they're gonna pop up on my feed nonstop. It happens all
Inconsiderate
the
and
time.
rude
I
and
do it
very
when my friends are
un-Jew-like.
over. It's like a party trick, and everybody's amazed every single time I do it. It always happens. You know, they use me so heavily, you know, and people run out. I mean, David Duke chased me. I was like, what? Like, he was obviously like the boogeyman of every Jew's childhood in this country, and he was chasing me for like a 30-minute debate, and he ended up staying for 3 hours, and the algorithm's like, nope, this can't happen, cover it up. And now from that debate, I got like crazy Aryan Nation people saying Am Yisrael Chai. I mean, like, it was a showstopper, you know, but they definitely want to keep me contained. But they let me out when they need a Jew to say some shit and stir everybody up. And then I make one post, like on the Brett Cooper one this week. I got like nearly 500,000 views on it or whatever it is.
Wow.
What did he say about her? I didn't see
just
that.
'cause,
I have no idea,
they
but she
want
was
Brett
going
Cooper to get
off.
some action. You know what I mean?
That's
so
right.
It's like, so
That's
who do
right.
they release? Awesome Jew. Every single time, I'm like the Batman of this shit. You know, it's like, you know, but
You could be his Robin,
it's crazy
James.
because and this is what I want to pivot this subject to, because
Oh my
like
god.
they paid $43.5 billion to launch this psyop, and it's been hedging money ever since. It's been no greater visible than in the Q3 earnings report of both Meta and X, because X is tanking, like hemorrhaging money. And Meta is reporting the greatest earnings ever. Now you're allowed to say racist stuff on Meta. Now they replatformed a bunch of racist people, and they're trying to like go after that racist market.
I can be
And Meta
racist
had
on
the
Facebook.
greatest earnings ever. At what point, James, are we going to actually have
The market has
a
spoken.
true free speech platform
Racism
where
wants.
there's no algorithm? Like, it's time stamped. You know, your posts are in order by which you submitted them. So scroll at your enjoyment, you know, like
Yeah,
when do we
like
get
to the
that
actual
level
people
of,
you signed up for.
when do we get to that level of like a free speech platform? Is that Truth Social?
Probably.
What happens? What is your take?
Yeah,
on
I don't. No, I don't think that they're going to do that, because the point is to create the engagement, and the engagement is used as a proxy for being able to sell advertising.
And control.
And-
You think it's about? Do you think it's about control?
Well, of course it is. I mean, that's no question.
Mhm.
I mean, the whole point of everything happening right now is algorocracy, is like that the algorithm is going to basically control what people get as far as their information flow goes, so that it controls how they react to that information. Or it's not just to get, you know, we want everybody to believe this about some COVID vaccine or whatever. It's also, we want people to react in certain ways, to get in certain fights, to, like you said,
Right.
I'm going to get served up Brett Cooper running her mouth on some video, so that I'm going to say something about Brett Cooper and then blow up Brett Cooper's brand some more. Right. Like I said, this is why I just started blocking people the algorithm feeds me too much of. I'm like, no, get the hell out of my life. Which, by the way, discombobulates the algorithm. It doesn't know what to do when you block the people that it's feeding you. And like everything gets a little bit better for a few hours until it kind of recalibrates how to ruin your life again. But the algorithm thing is too powerful. The algorithm is also giving feedback data to how, you know, the AI that controls the algorithm is supposed to run, like to get the reactions that it's looking for. And the main reaction that it's looking for is more time spent on site. Elon has been abundantly clear that that's what the point is. How do we maximize user seconds to the point where X now kind of does, like, in my opinion, it's like the dumbest thing in the world, but from an engagement perspective, it's probably not, which is like, if I go share an article, like if I go read a killer article and I want to share it on social media, that's like a prime function of social media, right? Hey, everybody, read this thing that I wrote, read this thing that I read in the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal or the whatever, you know, the New York Post. And now if you share an external link, that's seconds where your eyes leave the site. And Elon wants to minimize the number of seconds that you leave the site. So therefore, all of that gets suppressed. This is hard proof, in my opinion, that the goal is to keep you basically addicted to looking at the phone and the site. Nothing does that more.
Yeah, this
Like,
is fascinating. Get to
the
the fucking
time that you feel
chats.
the most drawn to look at your phone is when you feel like there is a conflict happening that you're involved in that is not resolved yet. And so the more it can generate that feeling in you, I mean, it could also be like, it's a different version of it. Like, it could be somebody's like waiting for their girlfriend to text them or something, right? So you check your phone like every 5 minutes, like, she texted. But that's still, you have a conflict, which is that
Really engaging
somebody,
that.
you have something, you're waiting for your phone to provide you an answer to something or a resolution to something.
This is
And so
ridiculous
if you
to
get
me
in a
to end
fight with
this.
somebody and you know,
Hey, let's
speak
complain
smart
about
off to somebody or
algorithms for
whatever, and it
half
kind
an
of goes
hour.
back and forth, you're like, did he say anything else? And you're like looking.
Especially
I can't
somebody
imagine why
famous.
Adam's channel isn't growing with the
Especially
thrilling
somebody
content
famous.
where he's
And so
ignoring the audience.
whole algorithm is always going to be there, and it's always going to be tailored around maximizing that, because that's what maximizes engagement seconds. It's what makes it the hardest for you to put your phone down and go do something else, or decide your phone is boring and you have better things to do today. It's the easiest way to pull you out of something that you're legitimately working on for like your real job, to get you distracted and engaged in the phone instead. And so the algorithms are all not just geared to do that, but they're learning how to be better at being geared to do that. So we're not going to get this, like you said. I wish that X actually worked that way. That, you get on X and you're like, oh, here's like the last, like I follow 500 or whatever people. And here's like 2 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, 6 minutes ago. That's really all I want. There could be a whole separate domain where it's like most popular shit of the day in your circle.
There literally is, James. There literally is. There literally is that on X. That actually does exist. It's called trending. There's also a tab called people you follow.
Yeah.
We're not going to get it.
Yeah, for you,
because it's
following,
contrary
trending.
to how these people keep you addicted to their site. I think this is part of why they've been letting the racism back on too. We've already seen that these idiots don't care about free speech, so that's not why they're letting racism on the site. They're letting racism on the site because they know people will fight over it.
The craziest thing, that part of what I said, is not only that they spend all this money, like,
so he wants racism banned from Twitter,
plus the 43.5
or why, or what
billion,
are we complaining about?
And you wonder, like, are they like hemorrhaging this amount of money just to give Nick Fuentes a voice? Like, are they spending, obviously,
yeah, it's all to elevate
billion.
Nick
Did
Fuentes.
They spend whatever
Exactly,
the
you
loss
got
is
him.
now, $60 billion in order so that Nick Fuentes can have a voice? Is that like where X, if you summate X down to like the core of its accomplishments?
Did every other social media get dominated by Jews so that we can't have a voice?
It does seem like it's the Jew hatred, the anti-Semitism app, the Central Intelligence Agency PSYOP app, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Did they spend this money just for this?
I mean,
or do they intend to run it as a business?
I have no idea, but I have, not only does it feel that way, I have people that I'm friends with that are firmly convinced that that's exactly what's happening. Like that Elon is an agent of this project, and that's exactly what it was for.
Elon is an
I personally don't know.
Woke right
I know that the site has become
project.
increasingly toxic. Trump and Elon enjoy my time on it far less than I used to.
Ran by the Jews.
I don't look forward to getting engaged on it. I kind of hate it.
You can log off, James. It's really easy. You don't have to be on it.
Do you think Elon really controls his empire, or do you think he's just like some agent of some like subsidiary of the establishment that puts him, makes him like this eccentric superstar hero, who could play Diablo all day and go to Mars?
Well, I mean, I have no idea, but there's no way the fact that he's running like 5 or 6 like cutting edge gigantic corporations plus playing Diablo all day doesn't really like compute to me. Like, I know he's like kind of abnormal, but like that's like super duper abnormal. Right. So something strange is going on there. I'm
so bored.
I don't generally trust Elon Musk, and I haven't. Of course, I know all the stuff about like his grandfather and the North American Technate and the Technocracy Party stuff. I understand that like you got Neuralink plus Starlink equals global network of, brains equals the noosphere of Teilhard de Chardin, and I'm not real geeked about that. I don't doubt that Elon knows that. He wears things like omega-shaped necklaces, and it's like,
oh no, Elon Musk wore an omega-shaped necklace. Oh no,
and it's like
breaking news.
I don't know what this guy's all about. All I know is that if we play the Christian game of judge them by their fruits, that X has basically flown into a pile of shit since he's tried to make it this like bastion of goodness.
When did you ever see that interview where he brought his son? I think it was Hannity, and his son was just like mouthing off little X. He's just like mouthing off like we don't say the quiet part out loud or whatever. And then you ever see him in the White House shushing President Trump, and like it's like, who is this guy? Like, this is the American public trust, and he's got his 3-year-old. We're supposed to be like, oh, how cute, but like, I mean, it's like so disrespectful.
I am miserable. This sucks.
And then later he comes out and he's like, it was.
But I'm
around somewhere.
He was on Epstein's Island, and it was like literal 3-year-olds telling our president to shut the fuck up. It's like,
I think it's actually pretty
Can
great
you,
that a
like,
3-year-old is
even,
telling
like,
Trump to shut the
fathom
fuck up.
any other American kid being able to tell the president to shush, stop talking? You know,
No,
like,
I didn't know what that was all about. I was like,
That
this
was
is
Oh my
crazy.
god, I am
that was
outraged.
It's
absolutely
totally
crazy.
crazy.
This
So one thing
happened?
on this show that I pride myself on, like I told you earlier, and I know we're pushing time. I'm
Super
gonna keep
chats.
you as long as I got, because I got
Super
James Lindsay here for
chats.
like over 2 hours now. And
Super
You're Joe
I
chat.
was
Rogan,
told
basically.
I was
You're
told
Jew
I got
Rogan.
an hour, and I just know I'm
Jew
milking the
Rogan.
clips right
Good
now. I'm
one,
gonna have like
James.
400 clips after this episode.
You're gonna have no
Well, I'm
clips
calling
after
you
this
Jew Rogan
episode.
from now on. So
Super-
let's deal with that.
Ah, that's the clip, baby.
Jew
I'm
Rogan.
Jew.
Just killed
Awesome Jew is Jew Rogan.
Oh,
Let's make it
no.
happen.
Uh,
So, like, I would say that the main purpose of my show is not to like fight or contest, but to convert. You know, like in Judaism, we have this concept called kiruv, which is like ingathering. And I really feel that there's a lot of people out there who just don't have the right information, and they're also like emotionally hook, line, and sinkered in because they've seen, you know, crazy doctored propaganda that really played on their heartstrings, and that like the revealing of this of truth, I believe truth is like sunlight, and it dispels, it disinfects, it takes away. You know, you could be
Yeah,
in
this is a
completely
hostage.
pitch black
Adam
room,
fucking
and
King
just
is
a
holding
tiny
us all
candle will
hostage
light up
right
the whole
now.
thing. You know, and you
Mhm.
could take that candle and you could transfer it to another candle and lose no light of your
Oh,
own, and
no.
spread the light, you know, to another candle. So, you know, I truly believe that like we could dispel the darkness. And we
Watching
could,
socialism is more
change the
entertaining than this.
narrative and whatnot. But on this show, I find the most important thing, the whole purpose, is to be that light in the darkness, to share the perspective that other people don't have, to do it as respectfully as possible. When I debated David Duke, I was calling him sir the whole time. As a Jew, that was like incredibly difficult for me to do, but I did it out of respect, and it
Yeah,
worked.
so
I got to
respect
keep
the
him there
people who
for
are giving you
3
money and
hours.
read
I
the
got
fucking super chat.
unreal clips that I have yet to make from that debate that's on my Rumble, and barely anyone saw it. You know, but you know, so in that spirit, this idea of, you know, I don't want to call it converting people to our way, but like helping people see the light, you know, and making a space for them. And that's what's so special about my anti-Semites trip for Israel, is it's like I'm clowning on them at the same time. We became friends. And so like, I'm like, these are the anti-Semites that I brought forth to Israel, and they're coming. So I wanted to play
I'll
this
believe it
video
when I
clip
see it.
because
I want to go on the
let me
anti-Semite
put
trip.
the guest cannon, the guest
Is he
camera
paying?
up there, because
Yeah, that's the question. I'm not going to buy. I have to
react
pay. But if
you
Adam
know,
King wants to
'cause,
bring me to Israel and pay for it, I'll
what's
go.
his name just came out today, and we'll throw
Kanye?
this on and throw up James Lindsay right here.
Kanye apologizing to the rabbi.
So, and put me
Oh
over here.
no.
I got the best studio equipment.
Why
Big
does he
shout
have
out to
Twitter on
Ecamm.
light
You guys
mode?
should
That's the most
totally give me
offensive thing
free
I've seen yet.
software for life. I'm always plugging you. So I want to play this video for you that I shared, because
I
this
feel
is
really blessed to be able to sit here with you today and just
Yeah, this is
take
good. Let's get James's
accountability.
take on this. He'll be like, yeah, he's a good guy.
You know, I was dealing with some various issues, dealing with bipolar also.
Oh, I
So it
was
would
just
take
bipolar.
the ideas I had and have me take them to an extreme where I would forget about the protection of the people around me and myself. So I wanted to come and take accountability. Sometimes people aren't that knowledgeable about the bipolar and the cause.
Nick took advantage of a mentally ill man. Is that what I'm hearing here?
I think so, yep.
This disease.
Nick exploited a
so he's
mentally
speaking
ill
to one of our
black
great
man.
rabbis,
It's like
Rabbi
if
Yeshayahu
you left the
Ben-Zvi.
house and you left your kid at the house, and your kid went and messed up the kitchen and messed up the garage and messed up the living room. Now when you get back, it's your responsibility because that's your child. And that's the way I look at it. It's like I gotta go clean up the kitchen, I gotta clean up the living room, I gotta clean up the garage. Yeah, and it's a big deal for me as a man to come and
This
take
is what Nick had to do
accountability
to
for
get
all
on the
the
cover
things I've
of
said, and
New
I
York
really just
Times,
appreciate
looking
you
like James Dean.
embracing
behind the
Yep.
me with
scenes.
open arms and allowing me
He had
to
his
maybe
CEO
build
moment
this.
with the
And this is the
rabbi.
beginning and the first steps and the first brick by brick to build
Had to
back
bend
the
the knee.
strong walls.
Yeah, he had to endorse birthright citizenship and
Say się Yandut, the rabbi said the Judaism. I natan לעולם את התשובה. The Judaism brought to the world a way for someone when he regret about something that he has done wrong.
the Noahide arc is coming. And repentance.
Jews
I wonder if
live on
James would
this
ever
way.
convert to
If
Judaism.
someone did
That would be
something wrong,
interesting.
you can regret and fix it.
Just skip over the Christianity and go right for the
Hugging you
Judaism.
and hugging everybody.
And
God willing.
James gonna try to get
From now
dual
on,
citizenship in Israel.
We should ask if he was reading the super chats. I'd ask if he wants to be a Noahide.
Yeah,
You are very
that'd be a great question. If Adam King would read the fucking super chats.
Wow. So this was such a big deal. This is Rabbi Yeshayahu Pinto, who's really one of our great rabbis, and I must say to Kanye that Judaism is really about the repentance, not about the perfection, and so we have to create a platform by which people can walk back their viewpoints and come back to
I'll be back.
Cool.
We're not going to win. We win by having stability again, by having understanding of each other again, by communicating with each other, by not
I
taking
feel so
such
bad, Adam
extreme
Green, sitting
and
through this with
virulent,
us. I
positions
feel like we're
against each
torturing
other.
Adam Green, but it's not my fault. It's
What's
Adam
your take
King's
on
fault.
this clip with Kanye, and how do you see it kind of
I delivered Adam
lending
King an
over to
audience.
the woke
He is
right and
so
all the people who
ungrateful to
followed him
me.
blindly off the cliff?
It is only
Although
because of
probably
me
just
that
so he
Adam
got
even
the
has
call,
people
but
watching this
because
fucking
they're in a
stream, and
cult,
he's ignoring our
and we
super
gotta hope
chats,
that they
ignoring
can
our
like
perfectly
see
valid
something and
questions.
shake out. But my take is this is
Sucking
what I'm
James's
talking
dick
about.
all
Like
the
I go over
way.
there and I see it for myself. Like this is how it actually is. The propaganda
It's
could not
rude,
possibly be
Adam.
further from reality. Like
It's
this is
rude,
legit
and it's
how it is.
inconsiderate,
Like
and it's not polite. I
it's
paid
not
you
this weird,
money
scary place. It's
for
not people who
something, and I
hate you
want my
because of who
return.
you are. Like when I was in Israel, I put some picture or whatever up of wherever
I
I
didn't
was.
even
I
ask
think I was
any
at the bottom
bitchy
of the Via
questions, but now
Dolorosa,
I'm starting to get real bitchy.
and somebody was like, "I would like to see what would happen to you if you dared
And
walk
Adam
around
Green could have done
Jerusalem
his
wearing a
own
cross."
show.
And my reply was
This is
like, "They would
not
probably tell me to have a
fair.
nice day and
It's not
feed me."
fair. It's not
Right? It's like
acceptable.
it'd probably give me some freaking bread. Like there's a lot of food that ends up in your face in Israel. But it's like this is
Adam
what I'm
King
talking
tricked
about. Like
us.
the propaganda is
Fucking
so
trolled
freaking
us.
far away from reality. Like
He
this
made us
rabbi
think
has
we were gonna be
every
able to
reason
ask
in the
James
world,
questions, and we
except his
can't.
Judaism, to just reject Kanye outright.
wrong.
Like
It's a trick.
Kanye doesn't. I can
Jewish
guarantee
trick.
you, he had very little reason to be.
Adam King's definitely
feeling
gonna have to take me
threat
on his
walking around in
anti-Semitism
Israel,
trip to
despite all the
Israel
things
after
he
this,
said,
because
despite
I'm
the fact
getting
that
like
he literally tried to turn his
I've
name
been
into
getting
like a
more
swastika for
anti-Semitic every 10
lifestyle.
minutes that my super chats haven't been answered.
And it's just, this is what I'm talking about. This is what you see.
Adam
This
owes me
is
like
what you get
$50 of red
when
heifer
you actually
ashes.
go and experience Israel for yourself and what the people are like. I mean, it's not to say that. I mean, some guy when we were over there was making a joke. Is like, Jews can be really annoying, and it's legit true sometimes. But the fact is,
It's
like,
so
this
true
deeper
sometimes. Like right
thing
now,
is
I'm very
the
annoyed at one particular Jew right now.
This is what you get. This is what the country's really about. And so like Gaza Floyd is a psyop. It's just like all this stuff is just totally fake news. So I hope that people will see Kanye over there having this moment. He's admitting the struggle that he has with his disease. He's finding welcome and peace and the ability for, like he said, accountability. And then what he's not met with a lecture. He's not met with like people just like tearing into him. He gets exactly the opposite. And like this is
He got hugged.
Hugged
He got
in a
told he
belief
was a good
system.
man.
Finding a way to come back from the errors that you make. It cuts a little bit like the other way. This is where kind of like parts of the conception came from, that believing that a two-state solution with Hamas, who wants you dead, is like, oh, we can win them over. Like, no, probably not. Actually, probably not. they have a different mentality here, and you're in the land of, what is it, Jalilia or whatever, the ignorance, and I forgot how to say that in Arabic, but this is Israel, right? Like when you get it, you get it. And so the stuff that people are saying, like that, they secretly hate us and they're scheming all the time, is just so.
The stream we're going to do
like,
later is going to be much
why
better than
Israelis
this.
Find it just
if you're just tuning in because you're looking for a 5 p.m. stream,
like, what are they? What?
we have been suffering for almost 3 hours.
Exact opposite of reality.
Watching this
so I hope
interview.
that, like,
We'll be doing another stream later.
I didn't know
because
that
there's
it
a
happened.
group of socialists lying about me on the internet today.
I didn't see it. I haven't
The
actually
best part
looked at my
about it
feed
is
at all
he
today.
But
the
we're
best
waiting
part
to see if
about
Adam
it,
King
and
does
no,
fucking
no
super
offense,
chats.
I'm not trying to like attack Aiden Ross or anything like that, but this whole group, Sneeko and all them,
Yeah, little
they
known
kinda, like,
Adam.
adopted Aiden
Little known
Ross
Adam
as, like, their
King.
token
It was
Jew,
a stolen
and
super
he said
chat
free
that literally
Palestine
led
and
to
all
the
that, and they're
Holocaust.
like, why can't all the Jews be like Aiden Ross?
And right
Kanye
now, I'm
actually went to
deeply
one of our
sympathetic to
greatest
that.
leaders alive in this generation.
The
He didn't
Holocaust
go
was
to
caused by
some
stolen
secular
super
politician
chats.
in Israel. He didn't go to the ADL. He didn't go to any of these,
This
fake
sucked.
figurehead institutions.
I hooked
or
Adam
puff
King up with an
pieces.
audience.
He went straight to the heart of the Jewish people with Rabbi
So
Yeshayahu
ungrateful.
Pinto.
So
Rabbi
unappreciative.
Yeshayahu is a great man. His rabbinical lineage is 1,200 years old.
Wow.
I have the whole lineage because I actually was I'm actually very close with the Pintos. His brother and his brother's son, who's like a tremendous luminary, one of the greatest luminaries in his youth. He was a judge at the age of 18. It takes it's an insane amount of learning. It's a 12-year learning experience, but because he comes from this dynasty, he got accelerated. And I actually was a part of the founding of that synagogue. So when I saw Yeshayahu Pinto, I was just like so touched because it's like real repentance. And that's what we're here for. You're not judged by how many times you fall down or how you fall down. You're judged by God on if you get back up. And so when he says to Kanye, he's like, you're a good man. He's saying what determines a good man is somebody who can admit their mistakes and come back to the light. So it does make Kanye a good man. It's a full circle on him. And I hope he's sincere. I'll tell you something. This family is so mystical powerful that if Kanye's not sincere, it's like, dude, you don't want to like spiritual. There's like weird Kabbalistic stuff, it's like you want to respect the Pintos very much. You don't want to play the Pintos. Playing the Pintos, they're not going to try to do anything back, but the cosmic forces, the angels are not going to like it too much. So I hope Kanye is really being sincere. If he is, I imagine that he'll start also platforming other voices, and hopefully he'll platform Joe Rogan over here, who seems to
Adam, ask
seems
the
to
fucking
be the only Jew
super
mashing
chats.
up with his favorites like Nick Fuentes and Milo Yiannopoulos. So we'll see.
I love that Joe Rogan thing.
Dude, I'm coining that for the rest of my life. James Lindsay called me Joe Rogan. What can go wrong after this? You know what I mean? It's good on me. James, what's next on your list? What do you got going on? Are you looking for any debates? Are you down to debate any big
No,
names?
he will not debate
I really
anyone.
Feel one thing on our side that really galvanizes our movement.
Everyone put debate Karlyn in the Rumble chat.
Democrats don't debate
now,
anymore.
Debate Karlyn.
Right.
I'd love to pitch debates for you. You're such a juggernaut, and you're so
I
smart.
am a juggernaut. I am not
Everyone,
a fan of
debate
debates.
Karlyn in the chat
Debating
now.
is very specifically a skill of thinking directly on your feet, which is a thing, but it's not the only form of thinking. Like, I find myself in a lot of conversations. I was in Israel, for example, and I'm having this meeting with somebody. It's somebody very important.
Who's
and then
chat? Our
everybody's
chat.
like asking him questions, and I'm just sitting there listening. And then the one guy's like, "Do you have any questions, James?" And I'm like, I think of my questions 2 days later. It's always how I am. It's like I take it in, I stew it over, and then I think about what I want to say. You could say it's like staircase wit, but it's actually I just know how I think. So debates, maybe they're not really my thing. I'm better in writing. I'm better at long form, but
James can't debate because
it's
he doesn't
not
know what he's
impossible.
talking
I find
about.
a lot of people debating is just people like kind of bitching back and forth at each other and looking for like gotcha facts. And that's not the best way to make, like you said, bring light into a situation. But that
I hate
said,
this
what's
cope.
next is I'm finishing
Debater,
a
shut
book
up.
specifically about political warfare.
I don't
Trying
like
to
to
get that out
debate
there.
anybody.
I am
That's
apparently
what
now
bad
that
debaters say.
Tucker had Fuentes on, and people
waste
were
your
like,
time
James
to
Lindsay was
debate
right.
people. Well, that's 'cause you can't
Like
defend your
everywhere,
ideas.
James Lindsay was right.
Yeah,
I'm
this
like
is literally a
on the
holocaust of
phone,
super
like 10
chat.
hours a day, every day, and then
This is
answering
worse
text
than the
messages
Holocaust.
like I've never had, or not in a long time, not since George
They've
Floyd actually
disappeared. They've
died
been
and everything went nuts, and
showing.
I was like the only guy
I'm
talking about CRT.
adding
Now
Adam
everybody's
on
like,
Twitter right now. I'm
never-
gonna say
never
ignoring
forget.
super,
what's going on.
ignoring
Like,
super
no
chats
joke, I literally got off
is
the phone
worse than
with
denying the
the office
Holocaust.
of a congressman immediately before we jumped on the stream. That's why we're doing it in the afternoon as late as we did. I had a call with a congressman who's like, what the hell's going on?
Oh, I had
And
to call
so
the congressman. Dude,
keeping
these
up
guys are
with
so
that,
important.
Current is kind of the main thing that I've got going on. But I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to finish this book. I want to get the book out early next year about political warfare. I'm going to call the book "How to Be an Anti-Leftist." The first draft is done. I've started the editing process, and then after that, it's typeset and go. So that's the big project. It would be nice if the world didn't reset itself 8 times in 2 days, so that I have
James has just
zero
given me
time
motivation to
dedicate
actually
to
finish
things.
that book because I have to get it out before him.
But that's the
Aw,
primary
I was telling this
man.
to
Well,
my
there
mother.
goes
My
the
mother's
rest of
like
my
always
year.
like, she's not political, and I was like telling her like they want you to constantly have to second guess what you already put in your box as being like established for the rest of your life, so you could just focus on tennis or whatever's on TV. That like
that's right.
They want to upend your sense of stability over and over and over and over and over again. It's like always the world's about to be nuked. Always, the flood is coming from global warming. It's always like scare. And we got to overcome that. We got to overcome the media, so
yeah. I
that's
might
what-
end up, since you brought up debates, I might end up having to do some finally, because like the young people seem to only give a shit about debates. They like don't care about
I would
exposition.
encourage
Good. Everyone do
you, 'cause
debate
you are
Karlyn
a
in the chat.
genius,
Debate
you're
Karlyn now.
masterful with words, and you're calm and collected. You're exactly the type of person that we need out there speaking and challenging directly, being on that front line. I think Dinesh also,
Oh my God, yeah,
phenomenal debater.
If James is the best you got, you're in big
unbridled
trouble.
potential. And the right likes debates. The more the left doesn't want to do them, the more the right does them. So I'm really looking forward to.
He just said he doesn't like the
arena
debates.
and taking on somebody and challenging.
He just
their
blocks
ideas,
everybody.
proving
He
them
said,
wrong and changing them to the right side. So
and he wants everybody censored.
Yeah, well, maybe we can do that.
I would love that. And
That's a
also,
no.
if you ever want to collab on anything, I mean, I don't want to take any more of your time, but I do want to take all of your time. So you are welcome. I'm gonna go stream as long as you're willing. I have 100 more topics I can bring up to you.
Yeah,
You know,
let's
a
talk
bunch
for
of
4
different-
hours.
Yeah, we didn't even get to cover Mom Donnie. We didn't even. I mean, briefly we touched on it. I didn't even get to go into critical race theory with you, which is really your strong suit. Being like the pill.
Yeah, well,
Is the one question I always had for you, has the White House consulted you or at that executive level? Have they brought you in discussions on how to
He's
deal
pretty
with the
pissed about
trans
that.
Tifa? Are you
Wasn't he
working
mad
with the
like Tucker didn't know who he
administration? Like, open to
was? He
working
said
with
he
the
didn't know who he
administration if you're
was.
not?
Yeah.
He was so
I'm definitely
pissed.
open to it. I'm not currently working with the
Can't
administration.
believe that they haven't even reached out to you. That boggles
Well,
my mind.
I worked with the Trump 1 administration near the very end because of the
Wow.
CRT stuff a little bit. And then
No, Fox News
the
is too
trans
busy
Tifa thing was,
interviewing Karlyn.
basically
Sorry.
Biden administration,
Sorry,
and they
James.
certainly
Exactly.
weren't going to talk to me.
Exactly.
And then Trump gets back in, and actually, I was helping Charlie Kirk, who was working with the Ed Transition team, basically come up with Department of Education strategy and policy ideas for what they could do. I actually sent Charlie like a 30-page report about what I thought proper goals would be for the Department of Education.
He didn't read that shit.
No.
I don't know where that all went.
No one read it.
Yeah, it didn't go
Secretary
anywhere.
McMahon's doing whatever she's doing. So I have not been reached out to. I've been told basically, but I don't know if it's true, that I'm more or less boxed out because Vance's team convinced the gatekeepers, the handlers, that I am anti whatever the right wing is doing, anti-new right agenda, anti-NatCon. And I am anti-NatCon. So that's true enough as far as it goes. But I don't know why that
Anti-nationalist.
gets
He's just a
recorded here.
Zionist, pro-Israel
But this,
nationalist.
like I said, all of a sudden, some weird things are happening. A lot of people are
Adam King
calling
set
very
this
quickly
status
now.
up. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Now that we're no
Adam
He's
longer
like,
King
oh, I
in
love
denial
Israel. They got
about
so
the
many
woke right.
flags, but
Nobody
he's
wanted
like,
to
I'm
talk to me
against
when I was talking about the
nationalist
woke right. Nobody else
conservatism in
was.
America, though.
And now all of a sudden, the
Rules
denial
for thee, but
space
not
has
for
broken open,
we.
and like it's literally a problem that I can't address all the things that I'm getting all the time as fast as they're coming in now. So that might change actually now. I hope so. Definitely open to it. We'll see what happens. But since you brought up Mandami, I think there's only one story with this guy. Like he's gonna fuck up New York. Like let's just be very clear.
Did you see what Eric Adams
Brilliant
said today?
analysis there, James.
No, what did he
Brilliant.
say?
Fucking brilliant.
I've been
He's
on the
like-
phone literally all day. I haven't seen anything.
He's
Yeah,
like-
Adam King tricked
he
us.
released
I'm never gonna let him
video
live this
today. He's
down.
like-
This
I can
sucks.
play it if you want to see it, but he's basically like, I gave you guys a great city, don't fuck it up. And he said, don't fuck it up. He dropped
Oh
an
yeah,
F-bomb.
they're gonna. They're totally
Oh,
gonna.
yeah.
Because
Dude,
like
he's in New York
Mandani
already.
already
Craziest
got
thing
that
is
thing
how
about
they
like
did the taquilla immediately
Yeah, it's
after
very
winning.
fucked up.
They did the taquilla in Times Square. Like now,
Yep.
and all the Muslim influencers are out there saying now we're going to convert everybody forcefully in New York City. It's like,
Yeah, I bet this is what happened. I bet
Yeah,
James told Adam to
so,
ignore the super
and
chats.
then to just
Yeah.
You're never gonna
overlay
get
that
another super
with,
chat, Adam,
the day
doing
after
this.
tomorrow,
No,
Barack Obama's
never. I'm never
movie.
gonna send him another. I'm never gonna give
Mhm.
Adam
You
an
know,
audience again.
It's like
Mhm.
very
Adam's
eerie
audience is thanks to
similarities.
you.
When
and
I
you.
thought
Well,
that
his-
that movie, when that came out, it was like they were never going to let Trump get back into power or anything like that.
I have
And
more
that was
people
clearly
watching
like
this
they're
on
like,
my
you know how
Rumble
the-
channel than
they're
Adam
always
King has
dropping in
watching on
movies
his.
in Hollywood what they're
On
gonna do
YouTube
next
and
or
Rumble put
something like
together.
that, like Utopia
Yeah.
with the COVID vaccines.
On
and
YouTube,
all
I
that
have
stuff.
I have
You know, when
way more
Barack's
people.
movie came out, I was like, holy shit, that's what they're gonna do.
Adam
now,
King
when I see
establishing a
Mamdani taking
reputation
over
as
New
being a
York, and the
streamer who
movie was in
ignores
New
super
York, and
chats.
the Muslims and the Chinese and everything, you're like, maybe that's what's coming in 2026.
A
Maybe that's
Rumble
what we
rant
have to look forward
shyster.
to as their
Rumble
grand
rant
distraction
shyster.
from the midterms or the
Very
2028.
Jewish, Adam.
Yeah.
Very,
Well,
very
Did you
Jewish.
see that
Certain-
movie, the Obama movie?
No, I don't watch. I watch like no movies. So
That was crazy.
What I'll tell you is that he's gonna stack the deck as hard as he can, and that's like the main story. Like what he can actually accomplish and not accomplish, I don't know. I know that some of the Democratic Party is very nervous about this. I think he's kind of too like they're nervous about the DSA kind of taking over, and he's going to cram as many radicals, both DSA and Islamic radicals, into as many city and state positions as he possibly can.
What would
He
you
already put
debate
down
him
the-
on if you
put out the
debated him,
announcement that
Karlyn?
they're hiring?
I
they're
would
gonna get
like
as-
to debate him about queer theory primarily because James is making this stupid argument right now that the Groypers are queer, which has nothing to do with what queer theory and queer Marxism actually is. But I could debate him on really any topic related to the left. I know exactly what James thinks on everything.
What's the biggest thing you think he's wrong about?
Oh, he completely does not understand what queer means at all. I just reviewed his podcast last night on the channel to prepare for this, and he really he has no clue what he's talking about. And what we found out when James recently did a podcast about queer theory, and we're almost positive that he actually just watched a lecture that I gave on it and tried to crib me, but he got everything wrong because he doesn't understand like the nuance of it. So it's just I could go on for literally hours about all the things that he has wrong, and I did last night.
Something kind of similar. I worry about the people in New York who thought that he represents hope for the bottom rungs of the, working class or whatever else, because those people are going to get shellacked by this administration. But the worst thing that he's going to do is he's going to fill the New York City and New York State.
I'm going to call it soon if Adam doesn't read the fucking
administrative
super chats.
offices with
I'm sick of this.
career-driven DSA
You want to
and
watch? I
Islamic
sent you a couple
radicals that are
DMs
now
of
going
Tucker
to
and Megyn Kelly arguing over Nick. You want to watch those instead?
Yeah, let's do those real quick, and someone can someone please keep an eye on the show and tell us if they start actually talking about something that we care about. That'd be pretty great. Let's watch these real quick. Hang on, I'll get them up. Hang on one sec. So I feel bad too because you could have done other stuff too, and I feel like Adam King tricked both of us.
Yeah, you don't have to apologize to me. I even asked you. I was like, yeah, it could be. Sometimes it's risky to try to watch something in full live because it could turn out to be a snooze fest like this that ignores super chats. So
yeah, well, whatever. Okay, so we got this one. Tucker Carlson puts Megyn Kelly in her place. I'm excited about this.
Nick Fuentes has said a long list of very vile things.
Big time, including attacking my dad, which was the most vile of all, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I personally have watched
What,
videos
for
of
telling
him
the truth? Did
questioning
he
the
CIA?
Holocaust, likening it to baking cookies in the oven, and there's no way you could have gotten to 6 million, seems to be his theory. He seems to think that we've way overstated the number of Jews killed in the Holocaust. He's ripped on poor Usha Vance in the most offensive terms, which I mean, so what do you say to those people? Say, why didn't you raise any of that?
You know, do your own interview. The
Yeah.
way that you want to do it. You're not my editor.
Go
Buzz
ahead.
off. I mean, I don't know. You want to go yell at Nick Fuentes? I'll give you his cell. Call him and go sit and yell at him and feel virtuous or whatever. That's up to you. I got the same thing with Putin. Why aren't you yelling at him? Okay, why? So I can show that I'm a good person? I care about what my wife thinks, my children think, and God thinks, and that's it. I don't need to prove that I'm a good person to you. You may think I'm a terrible person. Okay, I'm just doing my thing, which is I want to understand what people think, and I'm committed to that. And if you don't like it, don't watch. That's my view.
I love that, honestly. And I know you have like different opinions about Nick than I do, but like I feel like I did the same thing recently when I interviewed like the Antifa leader from Portland. Is like I literally just wanted to learn how he thinks. And a lot of people were ripping me because they wanted me to like yell at him or take him to task or whatever. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like I actually just want to know what this guy thinks. And I kind of I know there's criticisms to be had of Nick for sure, but I kind of appreciated the way Tucker handled that interview overall. What do you think?
I thought it was inevitable if he didn't push back more that a lot of people would get mad, but I've done like hundreds of interviews myself, interviewing other people. So no matter what, like somebody gets mad somewhere about you not asking the right question or not pushing back on something or being too friendly or anything like that. People always get mad.
No, I mean, that's very true. But I do also like Tucker's response. Like, if you don't like it, just go talk to him yourself. Like, go do your own interview. I'm going to do my thing. Just leave me alone. Thought that was good. Let's see.
And it's like, do you want every interview to be like, hey, like, can you answer to this thing like that you said 5 years ago? Like when you've done like endless interviews like that already, like that gets a little annoying.
It's so boring and it's so annoying. And it's like, I mean, that like if every interview would be like, Karlyn, why did you date a pedophile when you were in college? Be like, well, he wasn't a pedophile and blah, 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 whatever. But it's just like over and over and over again. And then people always pretend that you've never answered the question. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Nick gets like sick of this. I'm sure you get sick of it too. It's like, come on, can we actually just talk about something like far more interesting than this? All right. And this is the other clip. Tucker Carlson rips Republican Randy Fine, says, him laughing about a dead baby on X is worse than anything Nick Fuentes has said. Let's see.
The main criticism, as I understand it, has been, well, yes, platforming. They say that I don't accept platforming as a valid objection.
When is that a verb, by the way? You take a noun and you make it into a verb and nobody says anything? As a former editor, I say no.
Yeah, agreed. Okay. Honestly, but as far as I know, Nick Fuentes hasn't eaten anyone. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer ate people, and he was platformed by Diane Sawyer.
We have a sitting member of Congress. I spoke to the Speaker of the House about this today. We have a sitting member of Congress from Florida called Randy Fine, who was literally texted or put on Twitter, we should kill them all. Yep. Every single one. Someone texted a picture of a dead baby, and he laughs at it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this guy's a lawmaker who's appropriating money to a military committing genocide, and that's cool? It's not cool.
No.
And let's just be honest. That is much worse than anything Nick Fuentes has said, period.
Yep.
So the main pushback has been when you had Jeffrey Dahmer or the Ku Klux Klan, or et cetera, these journalists went after them, like exposed the terrible things. And Nick Fuentes has said a long list of very vile things.
Big time, including attacking my dad, which was the most vile of all.
Yeah. I mean, I personally have watched videos of him questioning the Holocaust,
maybe it goes
likening it to baking cookies in the oven, and there's no way you could have gotten to 6 million, seems to be his theory. He seems to think that we've way overstated the number of Jews killed in the Holocaust. He's ripped on poor Usha Vance in the most offensive terms. Which,
they're so hung up on
so what
that.
do you say to those people? Say, why didn't you raise any of that?
Do your own interview.
He's a comedian half the time.
Yeah. He is making a joke.
Super chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to do it. You're not my editor. Buzz off. I mean, I don't know. You want to go yell at Nick Fuentes? I'll give you his cell. Call him and go sit and yell at him and feel virtuous or whatever. That's up to you. I got the same thing with Putin. Why aren't you yelling at him? Okay. Why? So I can show that I'm a good person? I care about what my wife thinks, my children.
That's the same thing we just watched.
Yeah.
Well, I
Just a longer
appreciate
version.
Tucker sticking to his guns. I like it. All right. Well, let's see. Are they still going? Yeah, they're still going. They're still
Go
going.
back to live and let's see what they're
Oh,
talking about now. And
man.
if it's lame, I'm tuning out.
Yeah, I gotta go.
And it has to be about the we, about the us, and us is the U.S. It's the United States. So it has to be the collective.
I thought you were going Miga on me for a
Super
minute
chat
there.
now.
Make America great again, bro. I would like to make Israel like America again. Like they deserve a constitution that.
Adam, do you want to know what I'm doing later today? Since I think we're about to tune out anyway. Check this out. So did you know that recently I got a communist faculty member at Texas State University fired?
I did not.
Did you know that? So I went inside I secretly recorded a conference where this guy was basically calling to overthrow the government in no uncertain terms, and I put the clip on the internet, and the clip went viral, and it got covered in like the New York Post and all these places, and so Texas State ended up firing this faculty member. Well, a court ruled that they had to hire him back, and then the university fired him again, and now this is all leading up to now today at 7 p.m. So I'm going to come back in probably about an hour. The socialists are actually having a whole live stream where they're whining and complaining about me because this is the faculty member that I got fired. But also, I've exposed this person and maybe one of these other people too. They've all called to overthrow the government, and I have clips on all of them. And so basically, they're all getting together to have a live stream to cry about me. Isn't that great?
Wow, panel complaining about Karlyn. What did the guy say that got him fired again? I missed that.
He literally called to overthrow the U.S. government.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he went around saying, "Oh, she clipped me out of context." I was like, "No, I did. Like, you were actually very, very clear on the clip to overthrow the government." Yeah.
Well, that should be good. Sounds like a W. Yeah. Sounds like a big W. They're all the communists are kvetching about you.
Yep, all the communists are complaining. So I will be back in about an hour, and we will watch this one live. And I think it will probably be more entertaining than the shit show that you and I just witnessed. Were there any high points of that for you?
James Lindsay saying he went to Yad Vashem and he didn't think it was that bad. That was the funniest part. Somebody should clip that and say, how dare him minimize that. But yeah, so boring. That's like the longest I've ever watched him by far, and I'm plan on never listening to him again.
Good.
Israel needs better shills.
Maybe that's a W. Then everyone realized just how boring and lame James is, and honestly, I'm really upset at Adam King. I really, really am. He knew I was going to be watching. He knew I was going to be super chatting. He's obviously paying attention, and he's just ignoring it. And it's probably because James told him to. And I'm like, bro, that's not cool, man. Adam King just stole like $50 in super chats from me. I want $50 of red heifer ashes to make up for it. I think I'm entitled.
That'll be like a few specks of dust.
Yeah.
Because it's so valuable.
All right. Well, Adam, thank you for joining me. I'm going to let you go. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry it wasn't more entertaining and fun, but hopefully next time we stream together, it'll be more entertaining.
My suggestion, so it's my fault, actually.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, have a good day. I'll talk to you later, guys. I'm going to stick around and do some super chats here. Thank you, the great Goisiak over on Rumble says, I just got Jude. I did get Jude. I'm actually like unironically I'm upset about this. Hey, I want to thank you, Trout Mass, for becoming a YouTube channel member. Thank you, Everett, for becoming a YouTube channel member. I really appreciate it. I got my helmet and seatbelt on. Let's go. Yup, I appreciate that. Ken the Glory. Well, we got that one already. Everett, thank you for that $20. We had Darla with the 10 channel members. You guys were so supportive of this stream. And it could have been so much better had Adam King not fucked us over. Good to see you together again. I wish like next time we stream with Adam Green, it'll be way more fun. I actually do really like Adam a lot. I like his content. I highly recommend everyone go subscribe to him over on Rumble or on Odyssey. He goes by No More News. Follow him on Twitter. He does a great job, and he's one of the few content creators that I actually like on the internet. So go support him. We love him. Hey, comrades, why aren't I on Adam King? Well, Adam King has had me on, but now I'm pissed off at Adam King. Adam King stole my super chat money. I just got here. Hope all is having a good day. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Thank you. How much do you want to bet James is going to be shilling mandatory digital IDs the UK is doing, for the kids' safety? Doesn't sound like he's quite there yet, Rottweiler, but man, James is like a male Karen. All I kept thinking the whole time is like, I'm being lectured to by like a middle-aged woman that like I don't actually care about James's opinion on that. What if Adam got a call from James's handler, so he ignores all the dissenting super chats? Yeah, I think that's actually what happened. Like, unironically, we got duped. We got played. We got played by Adam King. But, well, you know what? Fuck them. Fuck them. Because do you know what? Do you know what James doesn't have? There are no fucking communists talking about James. There are no leftists talking about James. There's no one. Oh, we got a Great Goyshiak. I came from Adam Green's clan. Well, we adore Adam Green here. Love you guys. Appreciate you being here. So James doesn't have communists doing a whole live stream about him, but I have communists doing a whole live stream about me. And so I'm going to go take just the shortest of breaks. This stream starts at 7 p.m. We are watching it live. We are doing it live. This is a victory lap for me. I have clips of at least 3 people that are on this panel tonight. This is the one, by the way, we all know Tom Alter is the Texas State University faculty member that got fired. Imam Abdel Hardy is the University of Chicago faculty member that just got arrested and charged with a felony by the Trump administration for protesting outside the Chicago Ice Center. And Jody Dean, we have calling for literal violence to overthrow the government. And so we're going to be doing this live tonight. It's going to be fucking awesome. And I'm excited about it. And I think it's going to be way more entertaining than what we just did. And well, no, we don't super chat the socialist. We don't give them money, but we can go in their chat. We can. And I think that it's a victory lap for me and we should be celebrating this. James is cocky St. Clair from Waiting for Guffman, says not a panda on Rumble. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, guys, I'm going to go take a wee little break and I'm going to get another cup of coffee and I'm going to be back in less than an hour and we're going to do it live. We're going to do it live because it's not every day you have communists scheduling a whole live stream to cry about you. So victory is mine. People can, you know what? The communists like to say, you're not even relevant. Even the right wingers like to say, I'm not really, the right wingers like to say, I'm not relevant. Well, I have the are the communists doing a live stream about literally anyone else on the right? I'm so relevant. I got my own fucking presentation. All right? Was on the wall of like hit people, of like evil people, fascists in Seattle. Now I'm getting my own live stream. Generational run. The generational run continues. Yeah, Harmy Dillon does owe me a fucking apology, but I'm never going to get it. I'm not, and you know what's, I'm going to say this. I'll probably say this later. Do you guys realize, I posted this on Twitter earlier. Do you guys realize we are literally the only people fighting to keep that communist fired from Texas State University? There has not been one single Republican politician, either nationally or in the state of Texas, that has commented on this. There has not been one influencer who has said, yeah, we probably should keep this Texas State University faculty member fight. Not one. This is us against them. That's literally what this is right now. This is my community and my fucking willpower versus the entire communist organizing apparatus, because this is on Haymarket Books' YouTube channel. This is the largest socialist book publisher in the United States. This is us versus them. And we have no fucking help. And so we need to win, and they need to lose, and they need to know they lost, and they need to sit in their defeat and admit that I fucking did it. And I'm going to keep doing it. And I don't really care what they think about it. All I did was put what you motherfuckers said at a conference live on the internet. It's not my fault you called to overthrow the government. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm going to take a little break, guys. I will be back soon. Take care.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here? 3 months, May 17th. And what brought you? That's difficult to answer. I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
That's difficult to answer.